Stick with me here. We are about to dive into the wildest revenge story, starting with our reborn MC Sparta kicking his own biological mother 10 meters into the sky. Then, with the entire crowd gasping in pure shock, he casually stomps the fake young master's leg into a complete human pretzel. And to top it off, a majestic backhand slap that sends his father, who tried playing hero, flying straight across the room. Why this sudden epic beatdown? Because 13 years ago, his jealous sixth sister literally sold him off to a group of human traffickers. When he was finally rescued and brought back home, his family gave him absolutely zero love. Instead, he was framed gaslit and completely abused by that fake young master, the parasite who stole his rightful place. His sisters treated him like pure trash, and the youngest loudly wished he would just disappear forever. Right now, his supposed mother, Mary Carter, is screeching with the absolute fury of 1,000 Karens. Calling him an ungrateful gremlin, she vows to beat him senseless. But as Mary charges forward, Liam's heart feels absolutely nothing but a freezing, desolate emptiness. He is completely done with them. Just as her hand almost strikes his face, he catches her wrist mid-air, swatting her away like a mosquito. Every single guest at the venue just stares, their jaws practically hitting the absolute floor. Mary shrieks, her face twisted in pure hatred. She screams that she is his mother. She demands to know how he dare hit her, lunging forward for another desperate attack. Watch closely, because this gets wild. He grabs her perfectly styled hair, slams her onto the table, pulls a knife from the cake and presses it to her neck. Still dizzy from that brutal impact, Mary suddenly feels the cold steel against her throat. Completely terrified out of her mind, she freezes. Her voice trembles, calling him a crazy psycho. Sweeping a freezing glare over the crowd, he warns Mary Carter. If she ever calls herself his mother again, he will permanently silence her for good. He always keeps his promises. Panicking, she squeaks out that she gave birth to him. The moment he hears that pathetic excuse, he presses the blade just a millimeter closer. He tells Mary to check her non-existent conscience and ask if she even deserves that title. Seeing this, his father, Thomas Carter, loses his mind. He rushes forward, yelling that Liam is a useless piece of absolute garbage. He orders him to let her go. Without hesitation, Liam roundhouse kicks Thomas right in the chest, sending him crashing hard. Watching this absolute chaos unfold, the three Carter sisters, Sophia, Evelyn, Lily, and the newly crippled fake young master Kevin, are completely and utterly stunned. Let's pause. We all know guys like William Vance acting high and mighty nearby, clicking his tongue in fake disappointment. He smugly asks how he could ever hand his daughter to a thug, claiming Liam is a huge disappointment. Liam just casually tosses Mary aside, holds the frosting-covered knife, and slowly walks right toward William. Trembling like a leaf, William begs him not to step closer, stuttering out what he wants. Liam gives him a side eye. Walking garbage. Leaving the man sweating bullets, he confidently walks up to the stage and grabs the microphone. He clearly announces, thanking everyone for taking time out of their busy schedules to attend this absolute circus of a wedding. As everyone here just witnessed, Olivia Vance pulled a runaway bride stunt and ditched the venue. Because of that, Liam Carter officially cancels his engagement to her right here and now. Cancel the engagement? Hearing this massive bomb drop, the entire crowd is completely and utterly flabbergasted. Everyone in Meadow City high society knows Liam was a total simp for Olivia for 8 whole years, and now he is finally pulling the plug. What kind of nonsense is this? Ignoring his intense pain, Thomas Carter scrambles up and charges straight toward the stage. He screams, demanding who gave him permission to cancel a wedding that was strictly arranged by the elders. He absolutely forbids it. Right at that exact moment, Olivia's mother, Beatrice Vance, pops out like a raging jack-in-the-box. She calls him a punk, furious that he dared to say such things in front of everyone. How is her daughter supposed to show her face now? Liam finds this incredibly hilarious. So her daughter literally runs away in front of hundreds, and she only cares about her reputation. What about his own pride? Beatrice changes colors instantly. She shrieks loudly, asking if trash like him even needs a reputation. She claims marrying her daughter is a blessing he could never earn, demanding he take it back before she teaches him a brutal lesson. He shoots back. If Beatrice looks down on him so much, why not just let him divorce her precious daughter? That's where we leave it today. Hearing divorce. Beatrice turns pale and immediately backtracks. Absolute power move. You are not divorcing Olivia, and we will never agree to it. Disappear before you even dream of it happening. Let's dive into this wild mess. I stared at Beatrice, totally confused, while William stepped right up. Liam, my boy, you are a man. You cannot just throw around the word divorce over tiny misunderstandings. Be a man and be generous. Just tolerate her little flaws. Marrying her is your incredible fortune. Tell everyone this was a joke, or I will discipline you." Honestly, if I did not know William's true colors, I might have actually fallen for his sneaky little gaslighting act. Looking at my two wonderful in-laws, I simply felt a very strong urge to laugh. Outwardly, they told me to cherish Olivia, but behind my back, they were constantly hunting for a much richer way, better son-in-law, yet they refused to let me leave her. The reason didn't matter anymore. "Are you all completely deaf?" I said coldly. "I am not asking for opinions. I am officially informing you. I am canceling this engagement. I want a divorce. Shut your mouth, you absolute mistake." "Get on your knees!" Thomas Carter roared, suddenly lunging at me with a raised hand to slap me. Seeing that, I quickly reached out, grabbed his wrist, twisted it backward, and delivered a swift kick to his knee. Snap! A crisp sound echoed through the hall. Thomas immediately collapsed to the floor, clutching his broken arm, groaning in sheer agony. "You ungrateful wretch! How dare you do this to your own father? I will call the cops and throw you in jail." "Save your breath." I crouched right down and whispered coldly, "Thomas, even if I go to jail, I will just pay you pocket change for your medical bills. But if you go to the police station, I am not sure you will ever come out." "What do you mean?" Thomas completely froze, his voice dropping. "How did Uncle Donald actually pass away? You know better than I do, right? How do you know? Now watch this part closely." Thomas looked at me completely terrified. I just chuckled, tossing my phone up and catching it playfully. "If you do not want people to know, simply do not do it. Not only do I know, but I also know exactly where the evidence is. Want me to call the cops for you?" Thomas instantly turned paler than a sheet of paper. His eyes went wide with pure terror as his trembling finger pointed right at me. "Unless you formally cut ties with us, I will absolutely never let you cancel this wedding with Olivia." "Cut ties?" I just sneered. "Gladly." Thomas, Mary, and the rest of the entire Carter family stood there completely dumbfounded. I completely ignored them, grabbed my butter knife, and walked toward the two ancient twin trees in the courtyard. Right on cue, dark clouds gathered in the sky, and an eerie, cold wind swept straight through the wedding venue. I stood before the trees, made a tiny mark on my index finger with the knife, and wrote on the trunk, using my crimson energy, "I, Liam Carter, from this day forth sever all ties and affection with Olivia Vance. This marriage is permanently void." After writing, I turned back to the sky, letting a drop of red essence fall on my chest. Heaven above, earth below, I, Liam Carter, swear on my life force. From today onward, I am cutting all ties with the Carter family. We are strangers for life. If I break this oath, may actual lightning strike me down. As soon as those words left my mouth, a massive crimson-red bolt of lightning struck the ancient trees directly. The thunder shook the entire venue. Heavy drops of red rain like falling rubies splattered across the ground. You feel that shift, right? Everyone present was scared senseless, staring at me like some kind of demon. Having said my absolute piece, I stripped off my wedding suit jacket, leaving only my clean white dress shirt, and walked right out of the venue. The Carter and Vance families were left completely frozen in shock. Suddenly, a sharp scream broke the silence. "Mom, Dad, Kevin passed out." Hearing this, Mary totally forgot about the cut on her neck and rushed over. "My son, wake up. Do not scare Mommy like this." Lily Carter stared at Kevin's soaked trousers, her face turning incredibly pale. "Mom, Kevin's little companions, I really think they have been completely squashed. We desperately need to get him to City Hospital right now. Sister Sarah will definitely know what to do." Nearby, Sophia Carter quickly walked right up to Thomas. "Dad, we absolutely cannot let this go. Look what Liam did to you and Kevin. We have to call the police and lock him up." Hearing the word police, Thomas instantly panicked. "No police." Sophia stared at him in pure disbelief. "Dad, I know you usually go easy on that brat, but he crippled Kevin. If we do not teach him a lesson, he will just walk all over us." "Are you deaf?" Thomas roared, his eyes bulging out. "I said no police, and that means absolutely no police." Sophia was completely flabbergasted. "Since when do you care about him so much? You really do not want him in jail." Thomas did not explain. He just fiercely glared at them. "Listen to me, nobody calls the cops today. Whoever dares to report this will be permanently kicked out of this family." Right then, two black Maybachs suddenly pulled up, rushing the injured family members straight to the hospital. At the exact same time, Olivia Vance, dressed in her stunning white mermaid wedding gown, gracefully walked right back into the venue. Seeing the chaotic, trashed state of her wedding, she looked thoroughly, genuinely confused. Beatrice ran up acting like she survived a war zone. Liam went completely insane. Trust me, you and I need to see what happens next. Stick with me here. He destroyed Kevin, threatened Mary, and shattered his arm. William looked furious. Olivia, that absolute trash, went way too far. He publicly announced he is canceling the wedding. Zero respect for the Vance family. Hearing this, Olivia's confusion quickly transformed into rage. She grabbed her spare suit, spun around, and stormed out. I am finding Liam. He crossed the line. I demand an explanation. Meanwhile, over at Moto City First Hospital, Lily and Mary sat anxiously in the hallway. Evelyn, Chloe, and Riley ran over, panting. Mom, what happened? Eldest sister Evelyn demanded. Weren't you at Liam's wedding? Why are you here? Just hearing Liam's name made Mary shake with pure rage. Lily comforted her mom, recounting the crazy events, totally skipping the part where Liam permanently cut ties with them. What? That ungrateful rat attacked Sophia, mom, and dad. Evelyn looked completely shocked. Yes, eldest sister. Lily nodded. Now watch closely. He went absolutely crazy today. He literally crushed Kevin's bottom area. It was brutal. Evelyn's expression darkened, her voice turning freezing cold. That brat forgot his place. When he returns, I will shatter his legs. I am not letting him off. Chloe looked equally furious. He does not deserve to be our brother. We treat him well, and he pulls this. We were too soft. Sister, you must beat him senseless. He is an absolute disaster for the Carter family. Youngest sister Riley stomped her foot, crying. I said we should have kicked that trash out, but nobody listened. Now look, Kevin is suffering because of him. It is all your fault. The sisters felt a headache but stayed quiet. In their minds, keeping Liam around was a huge mistake. Mary stood aside, muttering in pure regret. If I just kicked him out sooner, my precious Kevin would be fine. Evelyn angrily gritted her teeth. Sixth sister, call that brat immediately. Tell him he has exactly 10 minutes to drag himself to this hospital. Yeah, tell him to get over here right now, Chloe chimed in. I will slap him 50 times. Make him kneel and apologize, Riley agreed. Lily nodded and quickly dialed his number. But from the speaker, a cold, automated voice replied, Sorry, the dialed number is currently busy. Please try again later. Lily hung up and retried. Same exact result. The sisters stood around waiting to curse him out, but the call just failed. Eldest sister, I think he actually blocked me, Lily said, completely stunned. What? The three sisters yelled together. Impossible. That guy always answers on the very first ring. Try again. Lily tried a few more times, still blocked. Evelyn was absolutely furious. Give me his number. I will call him. But even her call failed. Evelyn almost smashed her phone. He seriously blocked me too. This brat is totally rebelling, Chloe, and Riley tried too. Blocked. Liam had genuinely blocked every single one of them. Let that sink in for a second. They stared in sheer disbelief. How dare their obedient little lapdog ignore them today? Chloe sneered. Lily looked up, her voice super heavy. Eldest sister, third sister, seventh sister, he no longer considers us family. At the wedding, he swore a solemn vow. He severed ties with the Carter family and declared us strangers for life. He swore that if he breaks it, lightning will strike him. The hallway fell completely silent. The air literally stopped moving. Sixth sister, do not let that trash fool you. Riley broke the heavy silence, rolling her eyes. Cut ties. Yeah, right. He talks huge, but how could he survive without us? Exactly. Chloe agreed without hesitation. You are way too naive. Lily, I see these cheap publicity stunts in the entertainment industry all the time. It is just a desperate tactic for attention. Only you would believe his nonsense. Evelyn chuckled darkly. Do you not know what kind of parasite he is? As long as he leeches off us, we can curse him out and he will still cling to our legs. Cutting ties is just a pathetic bluff. Seeing her sister acting so confident, Lily stayed completely quiet. Suddenly, the red light above the operating room turned off. Everyone rushed the door. How is Kevin? Evelyn asked with pure anxiety. Fifth sister and head surgeon Sarah Carter took off her mask, looking extremely grim. Liam was way too ruthless. Kevin's equipment was completely crushed. I had to surgically remove it just to save his life. He will never have children. Hearing this brutal news, Mary fainted on the spot. They quickly caught her, sitting her down on a chair. Sister, what do we do? Lily cried out in panic. What do we do? Evelyn gritted her teeth, eyes fiercely blazing. I am going to finish him. He must pay, Chloe clenched her fists tight. He ruined Kevin. We can never forgive this. Riley vibrated with anger. I am calling the cops right now. That trash will rot in a cell forever. No police. A deep voice echoed. Thomas Carter approached, face bruised and arm casted. "Trust me, you are going to want to see what happens next. Stick with me here. Why avoid the police?" Riley fiercely demanded. "Just shut up," Thomas aggressively roared. "I meant exactly what I said. This stays strictly as family business. Anyone calling the cops gets permanently cut off entirely." Evelyn and Chloe exchanged nervous glances, completely silent. Only Riley stood there angrily gritting her teeth. The surgery doors violently swung open as nurses rolled Kevin out. Immediately, the whole family swarmed. Kevin looked wrapped like a mummy, especially his heavily bandaged lower half. "Everyone please step aside, let the patient into the room right now," the nurse urged. They all followed his bed into the VIP room. Only Riley lingered. She instantly whipped out her smartphone recording Kevin being rolled away while capturing everyone's incredibly devastated, hyper-dramatic faces. Adding some wildly dramatic text captions, she confidently posted it online and boldly tagged the Moto City Police Department directly. Meanwhile, I just stood outside my luxurious high-end Moto City villa staring at a massive home that felt completely familiar yet strangely alien now. My inner feelings were an absolute wreck. Reaching out, I pressed my thumb against the lock. Fingerprint access denied. I chuckled bitterly at myself, then typed the old passcode directly from memory. Click. The door opened. Now pay close attention here. Stepping inside, my eyes immediately locked onto that massive wedding portrait. Pure violent rage bubbled up, entirely screaming at me to destroy everything visible. Instead, I inhaled deeply, heavily, forcing myself to maintain absolute perfect calmness. Heading directly upstairs to the quiet study holding all my packed luggage, I forcefully ripped off my fancy wedding shirt, tossed it down, changed into worn everyday clothes, and firmly grabbed my heavy bag. Standing silently in the main living room, I stared out at the blue roses. Those were Olivia's absolute favorites for our wedding day. I completely knew her preferences never had anything to do with me. I deeply knew she felt absolutely zero love for me. Her freezing, highly judgmental glare from day one proved it. She only married me strictly for corporate alliances, basically just playing along to grant her late grandfather's final wish. Back then, as a totally clueless kid returning to the wealthy Carter family, I actually thought pure kindness might eventually win over her stubborn romantic heart. But harsh reality hit incredibly hard. 14 entire years of knowing her plus 4 agonizing years trapped inside this marriage. I sacrificed absolutely everything, receiving pure ice back. She literally told me right to my face, "Liam, I am only marrying you strictly for our family. Do not expect romance. We are literally just certified roommates. You have absolutely zero right managing my life." Those words stung like sharp daggers, yet I swallowed the hurt for peace. Until year 5, when she suddenly fell sick. I abandoned my entire life to nurse her continuously, day and night. I actually thought she cared. Then I spotted him at that hospital. You and I both guessed it right. Her childhood sweetheart Michael, looking exactly like me. My fake husband status totally shattered. I was just a cheap stunt double. Suddenly, the roaring sound of a familiar engine snapped my deep focus. Liam Carter. Olivia screamed the second she furiously stormed through the door. What was that insane wedding stunt, canceling the engagement? Who gave you permission to disrespect my parents? Did you skip your meds today, and why are your messy clothes tossed around like a total slob? She rapidly fired demands, treating me exactly like some disobedient servant. I completely refused to even look. Her existence repulsed me completely now. My silence only fueled her blazing anger. "Liam, you fail and show me serious attitude. Are you genuinely even a man?" Hearing this, I finally spoke, my tone freezing cold. "Olivia Vance, let me ask. Tell me, where did you vanish to during the wedding, and that extra suit in your hands? Who exactly is it for?" My direct question completely caught her off guard. Panic flashed across her face, but she rapidly masked it. "What are you talking about? I bought it for you, obviously." "For me?" I laughed sarcastically. "Olivia, do you think I'm an idiot? I perfectly know you bought this for Michael. Since he rejected it, you just tossed it over to me like some pathetic stray dog." Her expression dropped, yet she maintained her arrogant attitude. "So what if I bought it for him? You cannot compare to a single strand of his hair. Where I go is none of your business. Who do you think you are, controlling me?" Her vicious words added heavy fuel to my fire. I coldly sneered. "Then exactly who are you to bark orders at me? You mean nothing." Olivia completely froze. Her arrogance completely vanished, replaced by sheer disbelief. "I am your wife. Why cannot I control you, wife?" I scoffed. You ran away from our massive wedding in front of hundreds. You call that being a wife?" Her fierce momentum faltered. "I had a sudden emergency. I did not do it purposely. An emergency, I cut her off. Your emergency was rushing to the airport to see off your precious boy toy Michael. Am I wrong?" Her eyes widened. "You tracked me, stalked me, I did not need to. The entire venue saw it. Everyone knows I am wearing a massive green hat of betrayal," I mocked. "I am marrying you for family. There is zero love between us. You have no right managing my affairs," she screeched, trying to regain control. I just burst out laughing. "So what do you and I take from this? The nice guy is completely gone. Real epic payback starts now. All right, stick with me here." I grabbed my bag and walked out. Olivia sprinted over in heels, blocking my path like an absolute Karen. "You are not leaving. If you do not explain yourself, you are not stepping outside." My expression instantly darkened. "Didn't you just say we have no love and I cannot manage you? Well then, you have zero right to boss me around. Move! I do not have the right!" She turned pale with rage. "I am your legal wife. Why do I not have the right?" I smirked. "And I am your husband, yet I apparently cannot ask why you abandoned our wedding for some other guy." Completely speechless, she just glared at me, a mix of anger and fake victimhood. Honestly, it was hilarious. "Save it, miss. Vance, you want to stay? Be my guest. Once I am gone, invite your boyfriend over or start a whole harem. I do not care. Liam Carter is officially gone." "Liam..." She suddenly had tears in her eyes. "I am not starting a harem at all. Michael and I are simply friends." "I do not care," I replied coldly, turning away. Panicking, she quickly grabbed my arm. "What do you mean we are done? Do you need a dictionary?" I paused and glared at her. "Done means we are completely finished with each other forever." She trembled. "How dare you say that? Did you not swear to love me forever? Did you just forget?" "I remember perfectly," I replied, my voice getting dangerously low. "But as of today, those promises are completely void. We are officially walking separate paths now." Olivia totally panicked, losing her usual cool. "Liam, today was my fault. I should not have left you for Michael, but he is moving abroad forever. He is my childhood friend. I had to say goodbye." "Childhood friend?" I chuckled sarcastically. "You can marry him tomorrow for all I care. Now just move." "Liam, there is nothing between me and Michael. Why will you not believe me? What do you actually want from me, Olivia?" Watch this part, it gets wild. My patience hit absolute zero. She immediately listed her demands like ordering at a drive-thru. First, apologize to me. I had a valid excuse today. Second, apologize to my parents. Third, apologize to your parents for hitting them. Fourth, return to the venue and tell everyone you were joking about the divorce. Fifth, go to the hospital and visit Kevin. Sixth, call Michael and formally apologize to him. Before she could finish her completely delusional list, I grabbed a vase from the table and smashed it on the floor. Crash! "Olivia Vance, you are a wife in name only. If you keep barking orders at me, do not blame me for acting out," she screamed, jumping back. "You have to follow my orders or I will divorce you." "Perfect," I smiled coldly. "The civil registry office is still wide open. Grab your ID. Let us go finalize it now." "Fine. We will div." She stopped mid-sentence, suddenly realizing she was falling into my trap. Her tone shifted completely. "Listen here, Liam. I will never divorce you. Whether you want to or not really does not matter," I replied. "Tomorrow my lawyer sends the papers. Sign them and I leave with nothing. Refuse and I will sue for divorce and take half your assets. Choose very wisely." Without looking back once I walked out the door. Standing outside breathing fresh air, I felt immensely relieved. I will handle Olivia legally. As for the Carter family, tomorrow I will visit those monsters and settle the score. Meanwhile, a black Audi A4 pulled up outside the villa. A woman in business clothes stepped out, watching my retreating figure with a cold smirk before heading inside. It was Victoria, Olivia's absolute best friend. Inside, Olivia sat on the floor crying her eyes out. "Olivia, what is wrong?" Victoria rushed over, faking concern, though sheer delight flashed in her eyes. Olivia clung to her like an actual lifeline. "What do I do? Liam wants a divorce." "You saw that too, right?" Victoria suppressed a grin, patting her back. "Do not panic. Tell me everything." She completely feigned outrage. "Liam is acting totally ridiculous. You just went to say goodbye to a childhood friend. He is being incredibly petty." "Exactly," Olivia agreed, feeling completely validated. "Michael and I are just friends. Liam has absolutely no right to doubt me." "Relax." Victoria smiled sweetly. He is just playing hard to get. There is no way he actually leaves you. Did he not say he will send papers tomorrow? Just sign them. He will panic, realize his mistake, and come crawling back begging for forgiveness. That will teach him a lesson. You can use this to keep him in line." Olivia nodded very enthusiastically. "You are right, Vicky. You are so smart." I almost fell for his bluff. Victoria smiled, her eyes hiding a dark scheme. "We are besties. Always come to me for advice." The next morning, I arrived at the main Carter family estate. I looked up at the huge red wooden doors, took a deep breath, and rang the doorbell. Early morning mist draped the estate in an eerie, suffocating gloom. Inside the grand house, the atmosphere was incredibly tense. The servants moved carefully, not even daring to speak. "So what do you and I make of this? Everyone knew yesterday Silent Liam actually attacked Kevin. The family favorite right at the wedding. Rumor had it Kevin's manhood was totally destroyed. Let's jump into this wild family drama." Sitting at the long rosewood table, Thomas Carter had his arm in a cast. He was reading the financial news, his face absolutely darker than storm clouds. The Carter Group stocks were crashing hard. That wedding scandal humiliated him completely. The absolute raging anger in his chest felt like an erupting volcano. Beside him, Mary just stirred her white porridge mechanically, her eyes wandering everywhere. Her mind stayed at the hospital, picturing poor Kevin suffering on his sickbed. She wanted to absolutely destroy me all night long, but those stinging slap marks on her cheek definitely slowed her down. Meanwhile, Diana and Lily ate lazily, their faces showing total exhaustion and deep resentment. Diana looked incredibly annoyed. She simply could not understand why her father showed me so much leniency. Normally, punishing me was a daily Carter household routine. Yet after I caused such a massive disaster, he still refused to call the cops. She figured Thomas was just scared the police would ruin the company stocks. Lily looked super distracted. Her shifting eyes caught between pure hesitation and gloom. Riley, on the other hand, was in a fantastic mood. Eating her porridge, she completely failed to hide the joy on her little face. Last night, her wedding video post got shared over 300,000 times. By this morning, it smashed past 2 million views, an absolutely massive number for local trending topics. Riley knew if this video kept blowing up, she would gain thousands of new followers. Once the cops finally arrested me, she planned to sneak inside, film a dramatic follow-up, and let her whole account completely explode. Now watch closely, things are about to flip. Ding dong! In that suffocating room, every eye immediately darted to the door. Thomas frowned hard, lowering his voice to order, "Auntie Lou, go check who that is." The maid quickly rushed over. Peeking through the hole, she froze completely, then ran back. "Sir, it's the young master. Kevin is finally back." Kevin returned. Riley dropped her chopsticks, eyes sparking with pure joy, while Diana looked up totally confused. "Isn't he still hospitalized? How is he back already?" Mary stood up super anxiously, rushing right toward the door. "Kevin hasn't even recovered. Why is he back early? Sarah is so incredibly careless, discharging him without telling me." "Madam!" Auntie Lou quickly chased her down. "It's not young Master Kevin, it's Liam." Those exact words instantly plunged the entire dining room into dead silence. Mary stopped right in her tracks. That worried look instantly morphed into pure disgust and absolute rage. "That piece of absolute trash." She rolled up her sleeves, looking ready to charge outside and crush me. "Didn't he claim he was cutting family ties yesterday? What is he doing back?" Diana sneered, her eyes filled with nothing but contempt. "We saw this coming, right?" The doorbell rang again. Riley glanced over, looking relieved but sounding venomous. "That loser definitely realized his huge mistake. He cannot bear leaving us, nor can he abandon this luxurious Carter family lifestyle. If we do not make him kneel in the rain and beat him senseless to avenge Kevin, I simply will not be satisfied." Hearing Riley say that, Mary and Lily nodded along in strong agreement. Diana narrowed her eyes, a truly meaningful smirk playing on her lips. "Kneeling in the rain simply isn't enough. He owes us way more than that." Mary practically gritted her teeth. "He ruined my son's future family line. How can we possibly just let this go? We must throw him in jail and find someone to handle him inside." The doorbell suddenly rang a third time, much more urgently now. "Honey, you cannot be lenient with that trash," Mary whispered indignantly. "Kevin is still stuck at the hospital. Doesn't your heart ache for him?" "Exactly, Dad," Diana chimed in. "You definitely should have called the police yesterday. Now he stands outside begging for mercy. This is our perfect chance to teach him a massive lesson." Thomas's face turned completely green. Slamming his newspaper on the table, he loudly roared, "You utterly rebellious brats!" Did my words yesterday just go in one ear and out the other? The doorbell rang a fourth time. Mary stomped her foot. "You're too soft. You are just letting that trash walk all over us." As they endlessly bickered back and forth, they eventually reached a firm consensus. "First make me kneel in the pouring rain, then throw me in jail." The doorbell rang a fifth, sixth, and seventh time, incredibly frantic. Riley laughed smugly. 7 times looks like that trash is going totally crazy out there. While they sipped porridge and chatted, an earth-shattering boom suddenly exploded through the house. The heavy, solid wood door was kicked wide open, flying clean off its hinges and slamming brutally right onto the rosewood dining table. It shattered dishes and sent food flying everywhere. Mary screamed loudly, scrambling backward. The others froze in pure terror, totally unsure what to do. I stood right at the doorway, lowering my leg, sweeping a freezing glare over those dumbfounded animals. "What do we learn here?" My voice was pure ice. "I rang 9 times. Are you deaf? Trust me, you and I are about to see some legendary payback." The Carter family's faces completely dropped, turning totally pale. The guy standing right in front of them was the exact same unstoppable Liam from yesterday. At the wedding, I did more than break Thomas's arm. I totally wrecked Kevin, ruining his entire future. Their most spoiled, precious golden boy was now stuck resting in a hospital bed, barely able to even move. Thomas sat at the table, frowning hard. He really thought I came back to just bow my head and apologize. But when that door was violently kicked open, he quickly realized things were definitely not going his way. His usual arrogant confidence started crumbling. Mary, Diana, and Lily instantly went on high alert, totally bracing themselves for whatever crazy move I planned next. Only Riley, the youngest sister who missed the wedding, and my terrifying new vibe stayed totally clueless. "Liam Carter," she yelled, jumping up in a fury and pointing her finger right at me. "You absolute jerk! You seriously hurt our brother Kevin, and now you dare to come home causing a massive scene. Who even are you? I am going to personally teach you a huge lesson for this family today. Now watch closely. Things are about to get wild." She charged at me, while Mary shrieked in pure terror to stop her, but it was way too late. Smack. A massive slap echoed through the massive hall. Every single person instinctively grabbed their own face. Riley went completely flying from my slap, coughing heavily as her eyes went wide with pure, absolute disbelief. "Liam Carter, how dare you!" Before she could even finish yelling, I delivered a lightning-fast kick to her face. She launched through the air, crashing hard into the console. The impact echoed right across the floor. Riley, 7th sister, everyone in the room screamed out in horror. Mary lunged forward, but the second my cold gaze swept over her, she literally froze mid-step. "You are totally insane!" Mary's voice shook as she stared at the battered Riley, eyes full of terror and rage. "She is your own sister. How could you strike her so hard? Biological sister." I glared coldly at these massive hypocrites. What kind of sister constantly opens her mouth just to call her own brother absolute trash and a complete jerk? If she refuses to treat me like family, why should I even care if she is family? Riley stayed slumped on the floor, holding her bruised face while spitting out angry curses. "You jerk, if you have the guts, just end me." I slowly walked over, staring down without a single drop of pity. "Taking you out is way too easy. You saw this coming too, right? I needed to teach her a lesson," stepping right down onto her face. I pressed my shoe right into her cheek. Totally ignoring her loud screams, my expression stayed completely ice cold. "Riley Carter, from this very day. If I ever hear you call me that again." I leaned down, my voice completely freezing. "Do not think you can insult me freely, because I will absolutely never show you mercy." Right after saying that, I kicked her stomach hard, sending her sliding all the way across the floor to the edge of the dining table. "That is enough," Mary screamed, throwing herself over Riley with tears falling down. "Liam Carter, you are crazy! She is your sister! Are you not afraid of karma?" "Karma," I scoffed, looking around the room. I stopped waiting for the heavens to do me any favors a really long time ago. Today I just want to personally teach every single one of you how to behave. "Liam." Diana gritted her teeth, glaring intensely at me. "You dare strike our sister today, I am calling the cops to lock you in jail." "Call them!" I sneered right back at her. "Go ahead. I would absolutely love to see who gets locked up, or if you monsters get completely ruined instead." Diana was seriously terrified by my dark glare and stepped back. Her hands trembled violently, but she did not dare reach for her phone. The huge villa hall sank into a heavy, suffocating silence. Nobody even dared to open their mouths. Pure fear filled the air. I stood right in the middle of the Carter halls, sneering at these total monsters. They talked a huge game of hatred but could not hide that deep fear. Disgusted, I swept my gaze past their faces, finally stopping right on Thomas. "You rebellious mistake," he demanded in a low, angry growl. "Did you not say you were cutting all ties with us? Why are you even back here today, Thomas? Carter, do not flatter yourself." I glared at him. "Your opinions are literally worth 0 cents to me." "Then what did you return for? To show off your strength? Just to mock us?" Thomas lifted his broken arm, grinding his teeth in rage. "I came back to get my belongings." I glanced straight toward the tiny servants' room downstairs. "To get your things?" Thomas swung his arm, roaring loudly. "Everything in this entire house belongs to the Carter family. Nothing is yours." I smirked and walked closer, staring right into his furious, shaking eyes. "Thomas, do not overestimate the Carter family's absolute garbage. That is where we leave it, guys. Honestly, everyone in this family is just total trash to me, and your precious things are just as filthy. Stick with me because this family drama gets wild." Thomas turned completely red, shaking with pure anger, totally speechless. "I only want my own things. They do not belong to you. Plus, I want to legally cut ties with you forever. Keep dreaming." Thomas angrily glared right at me. "Do not even think about escaping the Carter family. You carry the Carter name." I just laughed. "Stop being so incredibly ridiculous. My official records were separated from yours the exact day I married Olivia. Basically, I have run my own independent life for a long time now. What power do you actually hold over me?" Thomas shook with pure rage, staring me down. I knew his exact plan. He only cared about the perks of this marriage alliance. But this time, I absolutely refused to play his game. Suddenly, a weird burning scent floated right into the massive hall. "What is that?" Mary frowned, covering her nose. "Where is the smoke from?" I froze. "Watch closely now." I felt something terribly wrong, quickly shoved Thomas aside and sprinted toward the backyard. Arriving at the garden, the chaotic sight before me literally made my heart drop. A massive fire was roaring right in the middle. Rain poured down heavily, making the dark smoke even thicker. Burning inside were my clothes, old letters, handmade toys, and my incredibly treasured diary. A special gift from the orphanage director at 12. It held every single detail of my life. It was the ultimate proof of my very existence. Everything was burning away in those cruel flames, turning entirely to ash. "Evelyn Carter!" I screamed through gritted teeth, turning my head to glare at her standing beside the fire. "What are you doing?" Evelyn just sneered, her voice dripping with pure spite. "The absolute trash you brought here, like you does not belong in our house. Stop treating this place like a garbage dump. You are absolutely insane." Ignoring her words, I bravely dove right into the fire, desperately trying to save my things. The intense flames scorched my arms terribly, but I did not care. I only wanted to save a single tiny piece. From the flames, I managed to grab half of my severely charred diary. Everything else was reduced to ash. I lowered my head tightly, clutching the broken diary against my chest. I stood in the freezing rain, completely soaked. "Oh, look, the total loser knows how to feel heartache," Evelyn sneered. "This is just a tiny punishment for you. Now crawl to the hospital and beg Kevin for forgiveness. Otherwise, I will absolutely destroy you today." I did not answer. Keeping my head down, my voice came out completely hoarse. "Why? Why destroy the items that mean everything to me? Why do you treat me this terribly? I simply wanted to take my things back. Do you even need a real reason?" "Do I need a reason?" Evelyn replied coldly. "Just because you hurt Kevin so badly and because I felt like doing it?" "Why?" I looked up, my eyes fiercely blazing, roaring. "Just because you felt like it. You destroyed my most precious things just because you felt like it." I dropped heavily to my knees on the freezing, muddy grass. The heavy pouring rain could not wash away those cruel flames in the smoky ruins. Those were my greatest memories. The absolute rage in my chest burned away all my remaining reason. "You feel that anger too, right?" I glared at her, completely furious. For no reason, my voice shook with fury. "Exactly right," Evelyn replied lightly with pure malice. "Loser, did you not say you wanted to cut ties? I am fulfilling your wish." She grabbed 2 copies of a legal agreement, throwing them down like absolute garbage. "This is your official severance agreement to leave us. Once you finally sign it, you and the Carter family will have absolutely 0 ties. But do not dream of taking a single cent of the Carter family fortune. Are you signing it or not?" I just kept my head down, staying silent. I carefully tucked the burned diary half right inside my shirt. Rain washed completely over my hair, dripping straight down into the cold mud. I slowly stood up. Rain slapped hard against my face, almost crying on my behalf. Evelyn smugly thought I was just hesitating. She sneered, putting hands on her hips, mocking me smugly. I thought you were so incredibly tough. Cutting ties sounded so epic. But now at signing time, you do not dare, too scared to give up all the Carter family assets. Her harsh voice sliced my ears like a sharp blade. The Carter family members standing behind her woke up, loudly echoing her exact cruel sentiments. I stood there, hands clenched tightly into furious fists. Awful burns on my hands cracked open from the pouring rain. Crimson seeped through my fingers, dripping into the mud. Yet I stayed totally silent, intensely glaring at her with a freezing cold stare. Are you playing deaf, seeing me unresponsive? Evelyn grew furious from embarrassment. She aggressively raised her hand to strike me. I need to teach you a painful lesson today, you absolute loser. But before her fist could land, my hand shot out like lightning, punching her squarely in the face. That heavy punch landed perfectly onto Evelyn's nose bridge. Like a kite with a broken string, she crashed incredibly hard onto the muddy grass. The others screamed loudly, but absolutely nobody dared to step forward. Evelyn collapsed on the ground, bright red, pouring heavily from her broken nose, mouth completely ruined. Trust me, you and I won't forget this. She tried, standing totally weak, just glaring at me with pure, absolute fury in her eyes. Stick with me here. You hit me, I'll ruin you. I stepped forward, my voice completely ice cold. This is just the beginning. I leaned in, unleashing a total flurry of dramatic strikes right at her. The sound of every single impact echoed clearly through the heavy pouring rain. Every single strike hit like a massive sledgehammer to the entire Carter family's hearts. Evelyn was left totally battered. Her miserable screams were simply drowned out by the pouring rain. Mary and the rest were absolutely terrified, frozen in place. Auntie Lou and the servants didn't even dare to breathe loudly. They had never seen Liam Carter acting like this. The usually gentle young master was now an absolute unstoppable beast. Evelyn struggled hard, trying to block the strikes with her hands, but her strength was no match for mine. Every single furious strike landed perfectly. Mud splashed wildly in every single direction. Why? I stopped, glaring down, words squeezing from my throat. Why treat me like this? Does ruining my things make you feel superior? Evelyn's face was completely swollen. She couldn't speak clearly, but her sharp eyes still burned with deep resentment. Say it. I grabbed her face. Why do you hate me so much? What did I actually do to wrong you? The Carter family cowered in pure fear. Nobody dared approach. Mary held Riley, visibly trembling, not making a single sound. Huh. Evelyn forced a smile. You are a complete mistake. Now pay attention, because this next part gets absolutely wild. Before she finished, I threw another strike, knocking her out completely. I stood there totally soaked in the pouring rain. I clenched my fists, staring at the muddy agreement at my feet. It was bright and completely cold. Her words kept echoing. You don't deserve it. Evelyn, I said calmly, my voice entirely resolute, I won't sign this agreement. Hearing this, Thomas hurriedly stood up. Pointing his cast at me, he roared in fury. You rebellious brat! If you aren't ready to cut ties with the Carter family, what gives you the right to attack your own eldest sister? She is your own sister, you completely heartless, ungrateful jerk. Thomas Carter! I slowly raised my head, not hiding the intense, fiery rage in my eyes. Don't push me, I will say it again. I, Liam Carter, want to permanently sever absolutely all ties with everyone in this Carter family from top to bottom. Cut ties! Diana slammed the desk, furious. If you are so tough, why not sign it? Talking big, but you don't dare, reluctant to leave the wealth. I gave her a cold glare, calmly saying, sign. I lifted the agreement from the ground, sneering. You want me to sign this trash document? The agreement was already completely soaked by rain. The red ink and text blended together, looking absolutely incredibly ironic. The Carter family stared at the agreement, their faces turning extremely sour. We both know these demands are completely wild. I looked down, fully sarcastic. Not only do you demand I give up all inheritance and repay every single sponsorship, but you also want Grandpa's private trust fund. With this agreement, the Carter family's shamelessness is truly beyond any salvation. That is Carter property. Diana gritted her teeth, glaring. You rebellious brat! What right do you even have? You don't deserve it. I ignored her, yelling. I just walked step by step toward Thomas, a cold smirk on my lips. Thomas Carter, do you know why? I stood right before him, my voice completely freezing. I'm not refusing because I'm reluctant to leave. It's simply because none of you actually deserve my signature. Insolent! Thomas trembled with anger, unable to hide his panic. Don't worry, I continued. I am not the submissive fool you think I am. I don't give a single damn about your family's stuff. Instead, from today on, everything you owe me, I will take back piece by piece. You rebellious wretch! Thomas gritted his teeth, shaking. What are you trying to do? What am I doing? I sneered. I will turn everything this family has into ruins, from your proud wealth to your precious reputations. I'll make you taste exactly what losing everything feels like. Boom. Thunder heavily tore through the sky. The rain poured harder. Evelyn completely shrank back. Mary, completely battered, looked at me, trembling voice full of fear. Don't hit me. I was wrong. Wrong. I glared down, my voice freezing cold. It's too late to admit you're wrong. I walked toward the gate. Rain washed my face, carrying the scent of ruins. From today on, this family and I cannot exist under the same sky. I stood there holding that ruined agreement, staring down these arrogant relatives. Trust me, you'll love what happens next. My finger pointed at the signature line, rain dripping down. Look closely. Stick with me here. This agreement only has Evelyn's signature. Lily frowns, asking what I mean. I mean exactly what I said. I glare at the crowd. I am cutting all ties with the Carter family from top to absolute bottom. This document is not just missing a single signature, it needs 8. I point right at the empty spaces. Once all of you sign this, come find me. Otherwise, no deal. Thomas glares at me, his face turning completely green. Keep dreaming, you absolute wretch. I ignore his loud roaring, just staring coldly at this pathetic group. And another thing, the Carter family from top to bottom absolutely excludes that fake son, Kevin Carter. He does not even deserve to be called a Carter. Mary jumps up in absolute fury, swinging her hand right at me. How dare you call my son a fake, you complete piece of trash? The loud slap echoes through the rain. I stand perfectly firm. The sharp pain on my face just makes me sneer. I am just stating absolute facts. He brought this on himself. Before she can scream again, I swing hard and punch Mary right in the face. She gets knocked straight down, rolling around in the mud, looking utterly pathetic. Mom! Diana screams, lunging forward like an angry lioness, but my ice-cold glare stops her dead in her tracks, forcing her back. Mary grabs her face, eyes filled with pure terror, but still mutters her insults. You rebellious wretch! You actually dared to hit me! I am your mother. Shut your mouth. I look down at her coldly. Mary Carter, this was just a warning. Watch closely now. Next time you raise a hand against me, it will not be just one punch. I throw the agreement down, voice bone chilling. Get all 8 signatures before you ever look for me. Otherwise, stay out of my life. With that said, I turn to leave. Rain runs down my hair, mixing with red, soaking the muddy ground. The yelling behind me fades until Lily's loud voice rings through the storm. Liam, why did you turn out like this, Kevin? Your eldest sister, Mom, they are your real family. How could you be so violent? I stop, turn right around, and stare at her coldly. Lily Carter, since I returned to this awful house at 16, it has been exactly 8 years. In those 8 years, how did you treat me? Do you not know in your own heart I take a step closer every single word, acting like a sharp knife slicing her open? When I was beaten until I could not stand, where were you when they forced me to kneel in the rain? Did you ever defend me? Even just a single word, Lily's lips tremble in fear. It takes her a whole minute just to quietly mutter, that was for your own good. You came back from that orphanage with awful habits. If we did not beat and scold you, how could you possibly be fixed? Hearing this garbage, I just burst out laughing. I laugh so hard that tears almost hit my eyes. For my own good, that is truly the biggest joke in the world. Lily, why do you not carve that excuse on your face, so righteous? I sneer at her. Do you even know what an orphanage is like? I survived there for 13 years. Every single year I was perfect. You and I know the truth. I was the good kid. If I have any toxic habits, it is because you people forced them onto me. I slowly walk right toward her, every single step hitting like a heavy sledgehammer. I was supposed to receive the absolute best elite education possible. I was supposed to be the proud eldest son of the Carter family. But who exactly destroyed all of that? Who dropped me, a 3-year-old kid, at the orphanage, who caused my entire life to end up like this? My loud voice echoes. Lily panics, taking a step back. Her eyes fill with fear, unable to even formulate a single word. It was you people! I grit my teeth in rage. The final sentence strikes her like a heavy thunderbolt. It was the Carter family. It was you, bunch of literal animals. Hearing this, everyone looks incredibly sick, especially Thomas and Mary, whose eyes show a tiny flicker of guilt. But Lily reacts the strongest. Her eyes panic wildly as if a deep, dark secret has just been exposed. Her entire body trembles uncontrollably. "I do not know what you are talking about," she stammers, voice shaking as she desperately tries to defend herself. "You do not know," I reply coldly, my sharp words piercing straight through her. "Then tell me, Lily, that year, why did you insist on taking 3-year-old me to the amusement park? Was it truly because you wanted me to have fun?" I pause on purpose. The air freezes. Lily turns even paler, her breathing catching. "Or did you want to abandon me?" I do not hold back, pressing the question. This huge statement leaves everyone completely stunned. They all stare right at Lily. Back then, when I went missing, the whole family suffered pure agony, especially Lily crying daily. Even though Thomas and Mary were furious at her total carelessness for losing me, seeing her broken state, they could not bear to blame her too harshly. After months of completely fruitless searching, Mary almost suffered a total breakdown. The incredibly gloomy atmosphere only began to lift when fake son Kevin was brought in. But my words leave everyone in pure shock. If I was truly and intentionally abandoned by Lily, just how utterly terrifying is her heart? So what do you and I make of this? Everyone stares at panicking Lily, stammering out that she did not do it. Stick with me, we are about to watch him walk away with one epic cold remark. "You know exactly what you did." After dropping that absolute bombshell, Lily just stood there completely frozen, totally unable to even utter a single coherent word. "Lily, this is far from over." He turned around, his chilling voice echoing through the heavy rain. "Every single bit of misery I faced for 13 long years I will make you repay completely. Just wait." His quiet but powerful words hit her hard, making her stumble backward nervously. He confidently kept walking straight toward the main gate. The servants immediately stepped right aside to clear a path. Right behind him, Thomas, Mary, and Evelyn watched Lily in absolute shock. She looked entirely broken, just quietly mumbling to herself. Suddenly, Diana grabbed Riley, jumping up and screaming out, "Call the cops! We genuinely need to call the police right now. We must lock Liam up in jail forever." Thomas instantly yelled to stop her, but Diana was completely stubborn. "Dad, this time I am calling the cops. I do not care if you throw me out of the house. That jerk completely attacked our eldest sister. Is that not enough?" "Just shut up," Thomas angrily roared back. But right then, Riley decided to jump in too. "Exactly. I also want the police here immediately. Look at what he did to us. Why do you still protect him?" Lily stayed completely quiet. Thomas, looking absolutely furious, dropped a very harsh warning. "Anyone calling the police gets thrown out immediately. You will be completely disowned and you lose every single bit of your inheritance rights." That fierce threat instantly made Diana and Riley turn totally pale, completely shutting them up. Their fiery anger vanished quickly, but those toxic glares remained locked on him. Just as he was finally exiting the front gate, 2 actual police officers suddenly walked right up. "Excuse us, is this the exact residence of Thomas Carter? We are here investigating a video clue. Now watch closely. The cops showing up just made this entire family drama so incredibly weird for us." He glanced back, staring coldly right at Thomas. The man looked incredibly pale and completely stiff, with cold sweat dripping down his forehead. His absolute worst nightmare just came true. Riley, acting like she found her ultimate hero, bravely forced herself up and shouted with insane pride, "Dad, I called them." Thomas turned pale green, tightly gritting his teeth together. "When did you call the cops? I said no police." Riley proudly raised her glowing phone, bragging out loud, "I never called them. I merely posted a tiny video and casually tagged them online." "When did you film anything?" Thomas breathed incredibly heavily, his face looking totally dark like a massive storm. "Dad, I filmed it when everyone pushed Brother Kevin right into his hospital room," Riley boasted smugly, forcing a ridiculous smirk on her red face. "Everyone kept walking forward, so I secretly recorded from behind." She wildly waved her phone, totally loving her own video. "Look, I shot this so perfectly. Every single person looks incredibly clear. Even famous vloggers cannot record this perfectly." Mary and the rest of the family just stared at her wild arrogance, completely and utterly speechless. Thomas pointed right at her, his lips trembling, totally unable to speak for a moment. Finally, he angrily shouted, "How dare you post that video online? Who told you to do that?" Riley pouted defensively, looking incredibly proud. "That jerk actually hit Mom and Dad, plus He beat brother Kevin completely senseless. I really wanted the police, but you always stopped me. I truly wanted to obey you, Dad, but I could not swallow my rage. If cops refused to act, I simply let the internet punish him. You and I both know she is totally crazy, her eyes sparkling with pure arrogance. That is exactly why I filmed this. I deliberately made Kevin look completely miserable so the entire internet would easily pity him. See how brilliant this is, Dad? Look at all these online comments absolutely destroying that horrible scumbag. She aggressively shoved the screen right into his face. Nasty comments flooded the whole feed, basically calling him an absolute monster for hitting his parents. People brutally mocked Kevin as the cowardly brother, and some even started trolling the Carter Group stock prices. Thomas turned entirely blue, his neck veins completely bulging out. His trembling hand pointed straight at Riley. Do you even realize the disaster this video will cause? Oh, I know, Riley smiled with intense pride. That scumbag will be cyberbullied into absolute ruins and the cops will jail him. Is that not our goal? Avenge brother Kevin. We should be absolutely thrilled right now. Hearing this nonsense, Thomas was so wildly furious he nearly passed out. He stood totally frozen, finger-pointing, completely unable to utter one single word. Riley, completely oblivious to this nightmare, kept acting like a total hero. Dad, look, 10 million views already. The entire country knows Liam Carter is absolute trash. Honestly, the more they aggressively roast him online, the happier I feel. She happily added, Dad, I gained 500,000 followers. I am totally becoming a 1 million follower influencer today. Once Liam gets thrown into jail, I will definitely film another update. My fan count will instantly skyrocket by millions more. Riley was deeply lost in her flashy influencer dreams, completely ignoring the fact that her father looked like he was having a total meltdown. So, what do you and I make of this? Everyone is absolutely speechless, Dad. Why are you not saying anything at all right now? Riley waved her phone at Thomas. Stick with me, you are about to witness some insane family drama. She thought taking Liam down was a massive win for them. Then smack, a crisp, echoing slap. Thomas literally knocked Riley right into the dirt, half her face turning instantly red and swollen. She held her cheek totally dazed for a long second before looking up at her dad in pure shock. Dad, you actually hit me. What in the world did I do wrong? Thomas gritted his teeth, glaring like he wanted to rip her to shreds. That video you posted just ruined our entire family forever. Do you have any idea how much damage those comments do to the Carters? To my company. You think this only embarrasses Liam? He pointed fiercely at her phone, basically roaring out loud. You literally exposed our family secrets to the entire internet. People are not just cursing him, they are dragging the Carter Group. You ruined your brother and destroyed this house all at once. Riley finally grasped how incredibly severe the situation was. Her smug little smile completely vanished, replaced by total panic. Her mind spun. She just could not understand how one single video caused such a massive disaster. She still felt wronged. Liam was clearly the problem here, so why was she getting punished? The Carter family garden sank into an intensely terrifying silence filled only by the heavy falling rain. Suddenly, a police officer spoke up, breaking the intensely heavy atmosphere. Mr. Thomas Carter, we are following leads from online. Are the events in that video real? Did Liam Carter assault family members at the wedding and severely injure your own son? The cop's words snapped Thomas right back to reality. His furious anger immediately shifted into pure, shaking fear. He frantically waved his hands around. No, absolutely not. That video is fake. Nothing like that ever happened to the Carters. But the cops just stared at the people scattered across the yard. They looked at a badly beaten Evelyn Mary sitting stunned and Riley with a completely busted lip. Finally, they stared at my red-stained hands. Now watch closely because this is where the tension goes completely off the charts for us. Are you absolutely sure you are denying this? Thomas wiped his sweat, trying desperately to lie his way out. Kevin was just in a car accident. Nobody beat him. He choked up eyes, darting around in absolute panic. But right then, Riley could not hold it back anymore. Officers, it is true, it was him, Liam Carter, at the weddings. Shut your mouth! Thomas went totally insane, lunging forward to kick Riley right into the dirt, completely cutting off her sentence. That crazy kick made the cops completely disbelieve his story. Their eyes shifted between Thomas and me. Finally, they locked onto me, clearly suspicious of the real truth. I watched coldly, neither hiding nor explaining anything. I simply slowly raised my ruined hands up, my voice deep and clear. Officers, everything in that video is 100% true. I injured Kevin Carter. The people lying on the ground were also beaten up by me. If you want to arrest me, just take me away. My total confession stunned the cops. You and I know they rarely see suspects act this chill. Seeing their completely shocked expressions, I found it amusing. Thomas turned ghostly pale like he had just been struck by lightning. He glared, wanting to tear me apart, but his wide eyes held nothing but pure, helpless panic. I knew exactly what he was terrified of. He was scared that at the station I would expose every single one of his secrets. If that happens, forget 2 billion. Not even 20 billion could save him. Thomas's lips trembled. He desperately rushed in front of the officers, wildly waving his hands. "Officers, it is a big misunderstanding. My wife and I fell. My son Kevin was in a car crash, not beaten up, and Liam." He cut his hands while slicing wedding cake. "This was not from a fight at all." The cops glanced over, clearly not buying his nonsense. Their eyes swept over my crimson-stained hands. The evidence was irrefutable. Slicing a cake, the lead officer's voice turned freezing cold, looking at Riley's swollen face and Evelyn lying motionless, and the madam on the ground. "Those are clearly signs of struggle." Thomas forced an awkward laugh. "It really was an accident. My daughter spouts nonsense online. Please do not believe her." I was done hearing him babble. I stepped right up and cut him off. "Officers, everything is true. That video is 100% accurate. I did that to Kevin. I beat Mary and Thomas too. Riley's bruised face right here, I did that as well." My words plunged everything into total silence. Mary covered her mouth, her eyes red, staring at me with this complex gaze like she wanted to see right through my soul. I ignored her completely. I just coldly swept my gaze over everyone, my voice totally resolute. "Since it is clear, please take me away." Thomas could not hold it back anymore and roared, his eyes angry red, acting totally reckless. "What exactly do you even want?" "Pushing you," I sneered. "I'm just saving the cops time. And trust me, you and I are going to love what comes next. Come along with me." Thomas was absolutely shaking with anger. "You upset, good. So what exactly do I want?" "It is simple." Looking coldly at Riley on the ground, I demanded one thing, a very public apology. Post a video online admitting her previous clip was totally fake and completely fabricated by her impossible. Riley instantly leaped right up. Her eyes were totally red as she shrieked. "Keep dreaming, Liam. I will never apologize to you, not in a million years. Then we have absolutely nothing left to discuss." I turned toward the police officers, holding my hands out. "Let us get going. We can handle this at the station." "Stop right there!" Thomas quickly lunged forward to block me. His expression was looking absolutely sour and incredibly disgusted. Gritting his teeth, he glared right at Riley. "You better get over here and apologize to your brother immediately." "Dad." Riley absolutely shrieked. "You want me to apologize to this total jerk? Look at what he did to us and you defend him. Shut your mouth." Thomas had completely reached his absolute limit. "If not for your foolish video, would our entire family lose face? Our company lost 2 billion in market value. Do you even know what that means? I am telling you to apologize, but you are just dragging your feet and talking pure nonsense. Believe me, I will. I absolutely refuse." Riley screamed, totally cutting him off with tears streaming rapidly down her face. "Making me bow down to this jerk? I would rather disappear." Smack. A crisp slap violently echoed through the garden. Thomas knocked her down hard, leaving half her face totally swollen. She just held her face completely dazed for a moment before reacting, staring at her dad in pure disbelief. "Dad, you actually hit me." Thomas spoke incredibly coldly. "You caused a massive disaster today. I really want to make you pay for this. Now watch closely. Crawl over there and record that apology video right now. Otherwise, I am kicking you out completely. From now on, whether you sink or swim has absolutely nothing to do with our family. You can just fend for yourselves." Thomas had his face completely twisted in pure rage. He rushed right up to Riley, swinging his hand for another massive slap. That slap hit like roaring thunder, turning her swollen face into an absolute bruised mess. She was looking incredibly pathetic right there. Riley grabbed her face, sobbing from the intense pain, just staring in absolute terror at her dad. She had never ever seen Thomas in such an uncontrollable, fierce rage before. "Riley, let me tell you," Thomas roared loudly, his finger practically poking her face. "Today you must publicly apologize online to your brother. You made our entire family lose so incredibly much. Now you must pay the ultimate price for your sheer stupidity. Nobody makes a massive mistake without facing real consequences." He grew significantly angrier while speaking, his booming voice tearing through the air. Refuse to apologize and I kick you out immediately, Dad. Diana could not help but quietly speak up for Riley. But seventh sister only did this for Kevin and for the family. Why push her to the absolute breaking point? Shut your mouth right now. Thomas spun around, viciously glaring at Diana. For Kevin, she made our company lose $2 billion. Is that for Kevin hearing $2 billion? Diana immediately slammed her mouth shut. Even though she desperately wanted to defend Riley, that massive number felt like a heavy mountain crushing her, leaving her totally speechless. The others felt exactly the same way. From Mary to Evelyn, their fierce eyes were packed with intense anger and heavy blame. You and I saw this coming, right? Nobody was defending her anymore. Facing her furious dad and those intense, glaring eyes, she simply had to submit. Lowering her head, she mumbled, I am sorry, Brother Liam. That online video was purely fabricated just to frame you. I apologize, I cannot hear you at all, I interrupted coldly. I told you to publicly apologize online, not mumble pathetic words here. Riley turned completely pale. Clenching her fists incredibly tightly, fresh tears were quickly brimming right in her eyes. She knew if she posted that public apology video, the massive online backlash would completely drown her. Everyone would totally turn against her, but she never once considered what would happen to me if I was the one cyberbullied by the entire internet. Not daring to resist anymore, Riley shakily grabbed her phone, quickly wiped her bruised nose, and opened up the camera. Her voice completely choked with sobs, but that bitter resentment could not be hidden. Hello, everyone. I am Riley Carter, and I am officially here to apologize. The viral video I posted earlier was entirely fake. Liam Carter never assaulted any family members, nor did he harm my brother at all. It was entirely fabricated by me. I sincerely apologize to Brother Liam and absolutely everyone else. Please, I hope you never follow my terrible example. Finished recording, Riley carefully looked up at me, practically begging for some forgiveness. I just gave her a cold side eye, my voice totally devoid of any emotion. Now post it immediately. Riley held her phone, her finger hovering right over the post button, hesitating, completely afraid to press it. She knew once it was posted, there was absolutely no turning back. But seeing her dad's furious eyes and my icy expression, her trembling hand gave in and she finally pressed that button. So what do you and I make of this? The second it posted, her tears endlessly flowed down her bruised face. Let's jump right into the drama. Just a minute later, the video hit her personal account with 7 million followers, instantly reaching thousands. Thomas pulled out his phone to check, making sure there were zero mistakes. He took a huge breath, turned around, and gritted his teeth. Are you happy now? I just smirked and nodded. Consider me temporarily satisfied. I turned right back to the 2 police officers, my tone totally calm. Officers, I just misremembered. I actually did not do those things. I am really not sure if you need to investigate anything else. The officers frowned in total confusion, staring at Riley and Mary on the ground, then at my bruised hands. But it is obvious. Mary weakly lifted her head, sounding completely exhausted. I fell down on my own. This has absolutely nothing to do with Liam. Evelyn, lying on the floor, also gave a weak nod. We slipped and got hurt by ourselves. It has nothing to do with him. Riley shakily raised her hand, quietly mumbling, Yes, I fell on my own. It has nothing to do with my big brother. Those 2 officers looked completely annoyed, like they had just eaten a bug. They never expected to meet such a bizarre family. Usually, when relatives fight, they want to destroy each other completely. But now they all stubbornly claimed the injuries had absolutely nothing to do with me. Watch closely here. Even with my confession, nobody backed me up. Both officers looked at each other, their eyes full of pure helplessness. They swept their gaze over everyone, lingering right on Thomas and me for a few seconds, then sighed. The lead officer coughed, staring at a crying Riley. Young lady, do not invent stories in the future and do not casually tag the police. Our police resources are limited. Next time, it will definitely not be just a simple legal lecture. Riley had a face completely covered in tears. She wanted to argue back, but seeing her dad's threatening glare, she quickly lowered her head. Yes, I understand. The officers gave me a very deep look, shook their heads with a heavy sigh, and left the Carter estate looking conflicted. The rain was pouring down even heavier now. The police car rolled away through the misty fog and disappeared. Inside the car, the younger officer could not help but complain. Is that family sick in the head? Quiet. The older officer rubbed his tired temples. Without clear evidence, what can we do? The whole family claims they slipped on their own. Who are you going to arrest? The young officer was totally unsatisfied. But did Captain Yao not say to bring Liam Carter in? We failed to complete the mission. How do we explain this to her? Hearing Yao's name, the older cop shuddered and quietly muttered, "Just tell her the honest truth. Insufficient evidence. The entire family is desperately protecting him. We could not arrest him if we tried." The cold rain battered the windows. Crazy, right? The two officers sighed, driving out of the complex. Once they finally left the estate, returned to silence, but the atmosphere felt even more suffocating than the raging storm outside. I stood right in the middle of the hall, sweeping my gaze across the fallen Carter family, sneering. "Call the cops to arrest me. Be my guest. Try it." Thomas's face was brightly flushed with anger. His eyes looked like they wanted to devour me alive, but I did not care. My voice was as cold as pure frost. "You can try anything you want, but do not blame me for not warning you. If you dare touch me, prepare to pay the heavy price." I made myself clear. If you do not believe me, go ahead and test it. With that, I never even looked back. I turned and walked away, leaving behind a cold silhouette. Behind me, Thomas's chest heaved with serious rage. Mary tightly clenched her fists, gritting her teeth and muttering curses. The Carter sisters had red eyes, looking like they wanted to tear me apart. Riley, crying until her face was distorted, pointed right at my back and wailed to her dad. "He clearly just hit us. Why did you make me apologize? Why did you not let the cops take him?" "Dad, look how incredibly arrogant he is." "Shut your mouth!" Thomas roared loudly, his fierce eyes looking like they wanted to crush her. "Do you still have the nerve to speak? If it was not for your stupid video, would the Carter family lose so much face? The company lost $2 billion. Do you even understand what that means? Can you afford to pay back a tenth of the company value?" Hearing $2 billion. Riley fell completely silent. Her voice dropped, but she was still unwilling to accept it. "It was not my fault. It is clearly that scumbag Liam who caused the disaster. Why must I take responsibility?" "Shut up!" Thomas's veins violently popped, his finger shaking as he angrily pointed at her. "From now on, you are not to provoke him, and no more posting random videos online. If you ever act recklessly again, get out of this house. The Carter family assets will have nothing to do with you. Do you hear me clearly?" Hearing this, Riley completely broke down. Tears flowed like a river as she loudly screamed, "Fine, I will leave. I do not want to live in this house anymore. I hate all of you!" Crying hysterically, she quickly ran right out the door, disappearing into the heavy rain. "You cannot make this up." Diana and Mary wanted to chase her, but Thomas shouted coldly, "Do not go. Let her leave. Has she not caused enough trouble over the years? Let her learn a harsh lesson and see how long she survives out there. Stick with me, this gets wild." "Dad, she is our sister," Diana pleaded before sudden intense pain struck her. She collapsed down to the floor, shaking. "Dad, I cannot move. My back hurts so badly." Diana groaned, incredibly weak. "Dad, I cannot move." Cold sweat poured down her extremely pale face, sending the entire family into an absolute panic. "Diana, what is wrong?" Thomas screamed out, rushing to her side in total distress. Mary stood there, terrified, pale, and totally lost. Evelyn gritted her teeth and shouted, "Dad, fourth sister's spinal condition relapsed. Get her to the hospital now." Auntie Lou panicked. Following Thomas's orders, she dashed to grab the driver. Moments later, a sleek Rolls-Royce pulled right up beside Diana. Everyone carefully lifted her inside. The driver gunned the engine, speeding toward the hospital. In the garden, Lily stood totally dazed, muttering like she was trapped in an endless nightmare. Leaving the Carter estate, I could not hide my heartbreak. Lowering my head, heavy rain mixed with tears, blurring everything. Before passing away in my past life, my absolute biggest regret was failing to protect what I loved most. Now watch this closely. Even reborn, I still totally failed. Gifts from my orphanage friends, some who were already gone, left me with only those precious keepsakes. Now Evelyn burned everything to ashes simply because she felt like it. Thinking of the late director sliced my heart. I pulled the charred diary from my shirt. Trembling hands traced it, tears streaming down. "Director, I am so sorry. I failed to protect your final gift." I stood crying in the rain. Rain battered my face, but it could never mask the deep, agonizing pain inside my chest. Suddenly, Riley sprinted through the storm, stopping nearby. Full of malice, she yelled, "Liam, you scumbag! I will never forgive you, I hate you." She turned, vanishing into the heavy rain. I stayed silent. I just hugged the diary tight, head down, standing there with completely sorrowful eyes. The rain poured harder and harder, as if trying to wash away all the world's suffering. Suddenly, a gentle, familiar voice echoed near my ear. Liam, you are back. I looked right up. Through the blur, a woman holding a white umbrella stood before me. Her voice felt incredibly soft and concerned. Sister Vanessa. My voice trembled looking at her. Vanessa Wood stood there in a white dress beautiful like a lily. She smiled warmly, yet her eyes were filled with deep worry. She gently grabbed my hands. Why are you soaked? Quick, follow me home now. I let her pull me through the rain. Her warm hand was so familiar, pulling me right out of my deep abyss of despair. We both know this feeling. Under the warm lights, Vanessa's villa was larger than the Carter family's, looking incredibly cozy. Seeing the familiar interior, memories rushed right back. In my past life and this one, she never changed. Always the gentle older sister. By the door, her eyes suddenly widened in pure shock. Liam, your hands! What happened? Let me see. I smiled bitterly, shaking my head. It is nothing. Just a small scratch. Some medicine will fix it. Absolutely not, she fired back instantly. Vanessa pulled me to the sofa, eyes full of heartache. Gentle but firm, she ordered Liam sit still. I will bandage it now. She ran off yelling, Auntie Lee, bring the first aid kit. Auntie Lee rushed the items over. Vanessa grabbed the kit and towel, sprinting right back. Her worried face warmed my heart. Since returning to the Carters at 16, I never felt genuine care. The Carters ignored my wounds. Only Sister Vanessa was always the very first to bandage me up. She even fought the Carter sisters for me. A wealthy lady, yet she shed so many tears. Vanessa draped the towel over my shoulders, gently holding my hand. Seeing my severe burns, her eyes turned red. She looked up, her voice soft, fearing she might startle me. Liam, this might hurt, but I will be gentle. Just bear with it for a moment, okay? I nodded. She used tweezers and iodine to carefully clean my wounds. The pain spread, but I was already used to it. Pain was nothing. Seeing zero reaction, Vanessa looked up, full of sorrow. Liam, does it hurt? You and I felt that, right? Saying I was fine made her tears overflow and my heart ached. She lowered her head, sniffing softly, movements super careful. Liam, just hold on. I will be done soon. Stick with me. Seeing her focused face while iodine fills the air, my emotions are an absolute mess. Before my rebirth, she fought the entire Carter family for me countless times, blushing with pure frustration. She would get so furious, her face turned totally pale, yet I never stood up to say one word for her. Looking back, that fake family love I foolishly believed in, what was it even worth? Did the Carter family ever treat me like real family? Sister Vanessa, I am so sorry. I choked out the heavy words. Vanessa instantly looked up in absolute panic. Liam, does it hurt? Did I hurt you? She quickly checked my hand, her face completely full of worry. No, Sister Vanessa. I shook my head, my heart filled with guilt. If I had not been so pathetically weak before, you never would have suffered such injustice. You would not have been scolded and horribly bullied by the Carter family. Reborn for a second chance, I swore to never let her suffer any pain ever again. Vanessa sighed heavily, continuing to clean the wounds. Her movements were as gentle as handling treasure. Seeing her absolute gentleness, my heart felt incredibly heavy. Before, she carried the entire Wood family alone, enduring countless storms and even collapsing from sheer exhaustion at work, while I could only watch completely helplessly. Those brutal memories felt like sharp bones trapped in my throat, making me clench my fists. Watch carefully now. History is definitely not repeating itself today. Vanessa quickly bandaged up my hands carefully, tying a cute little bow on the wrap. She smiled so gently and blew lightly on my hand. Liam, the pain is flying away. It won't hurt anymore. Her silly little action totally made me chuckle. Sister Vanessa, I am not a kid anymore. She just reached out and happily rubbed my head, a doting smile appearing. Liam, in my eyes, you will always be a kid. A really warm current spread through my heart. A genuine smile finally appeared on my face, but she suddenly lowered her head like she just remembered something, her voice carrying a heavy hint of guilt. Liam, I am so sorry. I was busy yesterday and missed your wedding. How was it? Did everything go nicely? I completely froze. The pain in my heart surged again, but I answered calmly, it didn't go well. Olivia Vance ran away right there. What? Vanessa immediately jumped up, her brows deeply furrowed, wild anger flashing in her eyes. I have never seen her treat you like that. Why would she do that? I was totally startled by her sudden anger and tried to tell her to calm down, but Vanessa already grabbed my hand, physically trembling with pure rage. Liam, let's go right now. I will find Olivia and get justice for you. Seeing how incredibly agitated she was, I felt both moved and totally helpless. Sister Vanessa, you really do not need to. I already canceled the entire engagement with her. Vanessa completely froze, stopping in her tracks. She looked right up, her voice full of pure disbelief. Liam, what did you just say? I said I canceled the engagement, I calmly repeated to her. You saw her, right? She stood still, clearly processing. When I explained exactly what happened at the wedding, her expression slowly returned to normal, and a tiny hint of joy flashed in her eyes. She blurted out, "That's great, I was completely stunned, never expecting her to say that." Realizing her funny little slip of the tongue, Vanessa quickly waved her hands, cheeks slightly flushed. I mean, it is really good that you made this decision. Seeing I didn't overthink it, she breathed a huge sigh of relief, her beautiful face returning to its gentle state. But hearing the crazy reason Olivia ran away, her fierce anger flared right back up. She abandoned her wedding to see off a childhood friend. That is completely unacceptable. Vanessa paced back and forth furiously, tightly clenching her fists, looking like she wanted to go settle the score with Olivia right then and there. Sister Vanessa, please do not be angry. I smiled bitterly, trying to comfort her. I don't care anymore. But looking at my deeply exhausted face, Vanessa felt even more heartache. Liam, how could she treat you like that? How can I not be angry? You are so incredibly good. How could she do that to you? She spoke, her eyes turning totally red again, genuinely feeling outraged on my behalf. It is completely fine, Sister Vanessa. I have already let it go. I sighed and stood up. Thank you for bandaging me up. I want to go out for a walk and relax. It is still raining outside. Please do not go. Vanessa hurriedly stood up to stop me. Seeing her sweet concern, my heart felt incredibly warm. I stepped forward and gently hugged her. This bold action made her freeze, her body stiffening slightly, but she soon relaxed. I whispered softly in her ear, Sister Vanessa, this time I will absolutely protect you well. Vanessa stood rigidly, her cute face turning red as a ripe apple. She said in a totally flustered voice, Liam, let go. I smiled gently. You really do not need to worry about me. I will be totally fine. With that, I walked toward the door. Liam, wait. Take an umbrella. Vanessa hurriedly chased after me, quickly handing me an umbrella, her eyes completely full of worry and clear reluctance to let me go. I took the umbrella and nodded. Thank you, Sister Vanessa. I will take great care of myself. I opened the umbrella and stepped out of her house. You and I know she watched my back from that door. This is only the beginning. Stick with me here, right on cue. A sleek Maybach S480 pulled up to the Wood family villa. I watched from afar as the shiny car door swung open. A super flashy, arrogant guy stepped out, flashing the fakest smile ever. Vanessa, what are you staring at? Vanessa's face went totally freezing cold. Trent Harrison, show some respect. I never said you could call me that. Trent gave a slick laugh, waving his hands. Vanessa, I just really wanted to see you. Shut up! Vanessa totally snapped. Trent Harrison, if you have nothing important to say, just leave. You are definitely not welcome here. Vanessa, why are you being so cold? But boom! She slammed the huge villa door right in his face. Trent jammed the doorbell. Absolute silence. His expression dropped. Throwing a glare at the door, he stomped back to his car, sitting down and grinding his teeth in pure frustration. This girl is incredibly tough to handle. He was annoyed, but a super weird smirk slowly crossed his face. He lit up a cigar, puffing away with pure arrogant confidence. An ice queen like her, winning her over will be so fun. Vanessa Wood, you are not escaping my grasp. He let out a low chuckle. Glancing lazily at his rearview mirror, he suddenly completely froze. He had just spotted my back, my lean figure reflected perfectly in the mirror. His smile vanished. Those eyes turned super sharp. So that kid is the guy Vanessa keeps thinking about. He tapped the steering wheel, looking totally mysterious. She gave him such a gentle look earlier. Definitely not a simple guy, he muttered. Liam Carter, right? That name sounds super familiar. Right then, his screen suddenly lit up. A crazy notification popped up from a popular video app. Famous influencer frames her own brother, sparking huge outrage. Trent casually tapped on the viral video. Seeing Riley Carter crying with a puffy face, completely apologizing on camera for framing her brother, made him jump in pure shock. He nearly dropped his phone. Staring at the crazy details, he smirked. So it is this guy? Watch closely now, the name totally clicked. He checked the mirror and grinned. Things are getting incredibly wild. He hit the gas and the Maybach zoomed out of the fancy complex. A wicked laugh echoed inside. Over at the Huangpi River in Meidu City, things were super busy despite the gloomy, rainy weather. Tourists with umbrellas were snapping photos everywhere. Meanwhile, a highly anticipated movie was rushing through a big shoot. Cameras, bright lights, and energetic actors created an awesome scene, pulling in massive crowds. New Van Culture Group funded this epic movie with over 100 million. The hype has been absolutely unreal since day one. Tons of veteran actors and rising stars fought for roles here. Trending female lead, Chloe Carter, was totally stealing the spotlight. But suddenly, a massive swarm of eager reporters crashed the set, completely interrupting the shoot. Giant camera lenses pushed in everywhere. The endless, super intense questions gave the director and staff a massive headache. Miss Chloe Carter, you are the daughter of the famous Carter Group, right? We heard the Carter Group just lost $2 billion in market value. Also, is it true your little brother got his absolute pride totally crushed? Is it true? Hearing these sharp questions, Chloe went completely paper white. She took a deep breath, desperately keeping her cool. She fought incredibly hard for this exact movie role. This was a huge turning point for her career, but these reporters were totally messing with her focus. You see the panic, right? The crowd stared with complex expressions as complete chaos totally erupted everywhere. Feeling humiliated and super mad, Chloe somehow forced a perfect professional smile. She stepped forward gently. Hey reporters, please do not rush. I will gladly answer your questions. But before that, I really hope everyone can stay totally calm. Please ignore those wild internet rumors. Yes, my brother just had surgery, but his lower half was absolutely not the injured part. All 4 of his limbs were badly broken. He just left the operating room. Wait, his 4 limbs got broken. The entire crowd gasped. Who did that? That is so harsh, a reporter shouted. Miss Chloe, who attacked your brother? Hearing that intense question, a fierce, calculating glint flashed right in Chloe's eyes. Remembering how I totally defeated Kevin, she ground her teeth, but she calmed down fast. Her mind raced. What an absolute heaven-sent opportunity. She decided to pin everything on me and destroy my reputation. Chloe instantly played the total victim card. Squeezing out some fake tears, her voice choked up. Reporter friends, today I have to apologize. My family has an absolute troublemaker, and I honestly just cannot hide it anymore. The reporters instantly perked up, cameras totally zoomed in on her face. That is right. The attacker is my brother Liam Carter. Trust me, you and I are not ready for the absolute madness coming next. Stick with me here, we are about to witness absolute chaos. The reporters froze, recalling Riley's viral apology to me. Liam Carter was her brother. A female journalist jumped right in, shoving her microphone forward. Chloe's eyes sparkled with wicked intent, but she quickly faked a pitiful, sad nod. Yes, he is my brother. The crowd totally gasped in disbelief. The reporters were buzzing, hungry for more juicy details. Miss Chloe, why did he crush his own brother's limbs? What massive grudge exists between them? Tell us everything. What drove him to act so harshly? With all cameras on her, Chloe felt absolutely triumphant inside, yet she maintained a perfectly heartbroken expression. Yesterday was Liam's wedding. Our family worked so hard organizing everything, but the night before he got arrested for gambling and chasing illegal late-night entertainment. We literally bailed him out of jail, but his bride found out the absolute truth and fled right during the ceremony. He took all his furious anger out on our family, completely losing it publicly. He wrecked everything, tossed the wedding cake, and actually drew a blade to threaten us. Hearing about the gambling and shady entertainment, the female journalists and tourists frowned hard. Their opinion of me dropped to rock bottom. Spotting their disgust, Chloe felt incredibly victorious and amplified her dramatic performance. We tried calming him down, but he crossed the line. He attacked my parents and sisters. Kevin merely stepped up to protect our vulnerable family. Kevin tried to stop him, but Liam completely crushed his limbs. Now he is lying in the hospital, wrapped like a mummy, totally paralyzed. So ruthless. The crowd gasped in horror. Chloe wiped away fake tears, sounding completely betrayed. But wait, there is more. Because his bride vanished, he even demanded to cut all ties with us forever. We always showered him with love, treating him like pure gold, yet he completely betrays us. Oh my goodness, this guy is seriously worse than an animal, a furiously outraged tourist yelled out. That absolute trash should be permanently thrown out of the house. The surrounding crowd grew extremely angry. Chloe had flawlessly manipulated the entire atmosphere. Now pay attention to her acting here. She was secretly thrilled, keeping up her perfect victim act, silently cursing me as a monster while plotting exactly how to ruin my entire life forever. Chloe bowed politely toward the eager journalists, sounding so terribly guilty. Reporter friends, I am so deeply sorry for wasting your precious time. She paused for dramatic effect, her eyes showing fake conflict. My brother Liam Carter has done so many unbelievable things. This is a huge failure of our family upbringing. On behalf of my relatives, I sincerely apologize to everyone. Then her tone shifted into a desperate plea. But no matter what happens, he is still my biological brother. I beg everyone to give me some grace and show him leniency. He has endured so many sudden shocks recently. He literally just left jail, his bride vanished, and now rumors say he caught a terrible social disease. Chloe let out a heavy sigh, the corners of her eyes shimmering with totally fake tears. He is already pathetic enough. Please just leave him alone. Those words immediately earned the reporters' sympathy, making them whisper together. Liam Carter really is worse than a beast. His sister is amazingly kind, yet stuck with a brother like that. How tragic. A social disease so gross. People like him must be fully exposed. Chloe slowly lowered her head, the corners of her mouth twitching into a totally obvious smirk. You and I know she is lying. But just as the crowd fully bought her story, this bold, middle-aged journalist finally stepped right up to the front. His expression was completely serious, his tone icy. Miss Chloe Carter, there seems to be a massive hole in your tragic story. The entire crowd froze, staring directly at the glowing smartphone in the reporter's hand. Here is the apology video from your seventh sister, Riley Carter. He smirked coldly, adding, she openly confessed that she totally framed your brother Liam Carter. So why are you standing here claiming that he violently forced her into making it? The press exploded into absolute chaos, flashing cameras right at Chloe. Her fake smile completely froze. Suppressing her rising panic, she coldly fired back. Did none of you see that my seventh sister was heavily battered and bruised in that very video? Liam Carter obviously forced her. The fearless journalist refused to back down at all. Then what about this supposed social disease? Where exactly did you hear that rumor? Do you have any actual proof? Furious and totally embarrassed, Chloe frantically waved her hand to silence him. My seventh sister was terribly hurt, so she was clearly coerced. As for those other claims, I have absolutely enough solid evidence. If you refuse to believe me, just wait for my legal team's official response. With that, she panicked, cutting the interview short and fleeing, looking super furious. The bold journalist scoffed and muttered, what a two-faced hypocrite playing the innocent victim. You seriously thought you could trick me? The ultimate paparazzi king. Storming into the backstage room, Chloe finally dropped her pathetic sweet girl act. She furiously smashed her phone onto the desk. Staring at the footage of a completely battered Riley, she gritted her teeth and immediately called her. But she only got a cold beep. Damn it! Who on earth dared to batter seventh sister like this? Furious, Chloe dials Evelyn. Where are you? That is where we pause. You won't believe what happens next. Wait, the hospital, Mom got hit too, and Diana's spine gave out again. You and I are in for some wild drama. Chloe clenched her shaking fists tight. I am heading there right now. But on the phone, a totally exhausted Evelyn stopped her. Third sister, stay out of this. Just focus on your filming. I will handle everything here. Chloe took a heavy breath, pushing down her anger. I will be there right after filming. She hung up the phone, glaring out the window with clenched teeth. Liam Carter, just you wait. I am absolutely making you pay for this. Backstage, an assistant named Fiona nervously handed her a water bottle. Sister Chloe, please drink some water. Chloe grabbed it, mumbling thanks, but her eyes were literally on fire with rage. Fiona hesitated. You looked super angry just now. Did something bad happen? Chloe just sneered. What do you think? It is all because of that absolute jerk Liam Carter. Fiona totally froze, her eyes going wide. Wait, you are Liam Carter's older sister? Chloe glared at her with heavy suspicion. You actually know him? No, Fiona panicked, waving her hands. I just saw the crazy online news about this guy. Oh, got it. Chloe dropped her guard, immediately complaining again. We gave him everything, never short on food or money. Yet he bites the hand feeding him, literally attacking our parents, my oldest sister and my brother too. The guy is a monster. Fiona hesitated, asking, but why is he acting so violently? Chloe narrowed her eyes sharply. You sound like you know him. Did you meet before? Now pay attention here, because meanwhile I was walking completely alone down the street. The freezing rain soaked my clothes, failing completely to wash away the intense helplessness in my heart. My phone buzzed suddenly. Opening it, I saw a text from Fiona. Brother Liam, why did you attack your own parents and your brother? You always said you cherished family the most. Just apologize right now. They will forgive you. Staring at her message, my fingers literally froze over the keyboard. A heavy weight crushed my chest, making it completely impossible to even breathe. The Carter family gave me endless trauma, but Fiona's words felt like sharp thorns piercing straight through my heart. She was my actual orphanage sister. Back then, she was my only emotional anchor, the one person I swore to always protect. Eventually, a rich couple adopted her, taking her from the orphanage to live a better life. The day she left, she hugged me, crying, swearing, "Brother, never forget me. I will marry you when I grow up." Exactly 4 years later, we bumped into each other on campus. She was not that shy little girl anymore. Confident, totally elegant, and surrounded by loud, happy friends. I ran over super excited, shouting Fiona, but she just stared back at me with absolute ice. "Sorry, I really do not know you. Please back off." Reading her new text felt exactly like reliving that brutal rejection all over again. I gripped my phone incredibly tight. Water poured down my face, and honestly, I could not tell if it was heavy rain or tears. In that moment, my art's very last emotional pillar shattered entirely. I just stared at the phone, ultimately deciding not to reply. "You and I both know things are about to get worse." My phone rang again. The caller ID made my eyes turn completely cold. "Olivia Vance." I took a deep breath and answered. "Liam Carter, you absolute scumbag." Her crazy shrieking pierced right through my eardrums. I gripped the phone, my expression going totally dark. I replied with zero emotion. "Olivia, if your mouth is that disgusting, go brush your teeth. Do not spew your trash at me. Are you insane? Check into a mental hospital and stop bothering me. You dare call me insane. You have crossed the line." Her ear-splitting curses just kept going. Totally disgusted, I pulled the phone far away from my ear, waiting for her insane screaming to fade before listening again. I forced my raging anger down. "Olivia, did you call just to scream at me, Liam Carter?" Her voice was shrill, completely losing all reason. "Do you realize how much damage you caused the company? Because of your sister's pathetic video, the company lost $2 billion. I am stopping you right there." My voice was now as frozen as the heavy rain. "Olivia, let me make a few facts perfectly clear. First, that is your family's company, definitely not mine. Whatever money you lose has absolutely nothing to do with me. Second, Riley posted that video. If you have a problem, go yell at her, not me. Third, the company losing $2 billion is entirely your own fault. If you had not fled our wedding, would any of this disaster have happened today, Liam Carter?" She shrieked through the speaker, giving me a massive headache. I shouted right back. "Olivia, what are you howling for? Howling for your mother. You dare insult my mother." Olivia absolutely lost her mind, screaming to argue more, but my patience was completely gone. "Olivia, if you called me just to yell this absolute garbage, we are totally done talking." "Liam Carter," she kept screaming into the microphone. "Did you not want a divorce? Fine, crawl your way to the company right now. I will divorce you, Olivia. I refuse to see your face today. I will come divorce you tomorrow. We are done." I hung up and permanently blocked her number. Trust me, you're going to want to see what happens next. Standing in the freezing rain, my mind was total chaos while Olivia finally exploded into pure, unhinged rage. "Let's jump right into the drama. Liam Carter, how dare you hang up?" Only a busy tone answered. She tried again and again. Nothing. The harsh reality hit her. She was completely blocked. Pure rage took over. She smashed her phone pieces, flying everywhere. "Liam Carter, you absolute jerk, playing games with me. Think refusing a divorce lets you escape? No way. I am going to make you kneel and apologize to everyone." Suddenly, a soft knock echoed. A woman in a gray suit walked right in. Olivia quickly pushed down her boiling fury and forced a very fake, polite smile. "Victoria, you made it!" Yep, the newcomer was her best friend, Victoria. Victoria stared at the shattered phone, faking deep concern. "Olivia, what happened? Who else do you think that complete trash, Liam Carter?" Olivia slumped back, fuming. "That guy just made our company lose $2 billion. I called to fix it and he dared to scold me." She slammed the desk. "He asked for a divorce. I finally agreed to it today, but he just completely vanished. He makes me so incredibly angry." Victoria frowned deeply, her voice turning totally freezing. "Olivia, why did you randomly vanish from your wedding yesterday? Don't you know that makes you a runaway bride? Runaway bride." "It is not that serious." Olivia waved her hand like it was absolutely nothing. "Where did you go then?" Victoria asked seriously, her gaze piercing. Olivia just sighed helplessly. "Victoria, Michael said he was leaving the country forever. I just wanted to say a proper goodbye to him. How was I supposed to know it would explode? Victoria's face completely dropped. Pushing down her annoyance, she said, Olivia Michael is not moving away forever. His family is hiding him from a massive scandal. He completely ruined a girl's life and they are desperately trying to cover it up. Do you get it? He completely lied to you. Olivia's voice went totally cold. I know you hate Michael, but do not slander him. I completely trust him. Olivia, what are you even trying to do? Victoria took a huge breath to hide her frustration, glaring at her friend. Are you really divorcing Liam? Divorce? No way. Olivia suddenly remembered her father's strict warning last night and shook her head. Now pay attention because Victoria totally thought this was over. She breathed a deep sigh of relief, but Olivia's next words completely shocked her. I will not divorce, but Liam went way too far. He needs a harsh lesson. Olivia sounded so unbelievably completely arrogant right then. I will make him kneel. He is going to slap himself and he will literally bow down to my parents. Victoria's eye twitched hard, losing her patience. You are just adding fuel to the fire. Liam will never agree to that. Not agree, Olivia sneered. He wouldn't dare refuse me. How could he if he disobeys? I will literally force him to sign the papers today. Victoria's blood pressure absolutely skyrocketed. Her poor head felt like it was genuinely about to burst. Olivia, listen to me. Rule 1, do not sign that divorce agreement with Liam under any circumstances. Rule 2, even if you sign, absolutely do not go to the registry office. Olivia frowned hard. Why avoid the registry office? If I do not go, how can I force him to kneel? Victoria sighed, rubbing her aching temples. I tried to warn you. Your choice. She turned and left the room. Olivia scoffed coldly. Just leave then. Who even cares about you anyway? She stared out the window, eyes blazing with total fury. Gritting her teeth, she muttered, Liam Carter, you will definitely pay for this. Stick with me because everything shifts here. Rain poured down, freezing the dark, incredibly lonely streets. Holding my umbrella, I wandered aimlessly down Fung Heen Street, hands freezing cold. Just a total ghost lost in this massive, uncaring city. The city felt totally huge, but I had absolutely nowhere to go. Passing a trash pile from this morning, I suddenly stopped walking. I remembered seeing a muddy, forgotten doll there earlier. Nobody cared. Looking down, it was still right there, buried deep in the gross mud. Tomorrow, the garbage truck would arrive, taking it away to be burned into nothing but smoke. I sighed, getting ready to leave. But wait, a tiny shivering sound caught my ear. I looked closer. The doll was actually trembling. Crouching down to look, my heart completely dropped. That was no doll. It was actually a real living girl. She lay stuck in the mud, dirty hair hiding her face. Her limbs looked so twisted she clearly had severe, incredibly painful broken bones. Her body shivered violently, letting out weak sounds. Her skin felt like pure ice, way colder than my freezing hands. These were obvious signs of very severe, life-threatening hypothermia setting in. Without immediate help, she wouldn't survive. Seeing her sparked old memories. As a kid, I was kidnapped, beaten, and thrown away into a dump just like this. Back then, I prayed so hard that somebody would finally come save me, but nobody ever came. I completely refused to let that tragedy repeat. Saving her meant saving that helpless little kid I used to be too. I wiped the rain, tossed my umbrella, and picked her up. Trust me, you and I will love what happens next. Stick with me. This poor trembling girl in his arms felt light as a feather. Wasting absolutely no time, he used every ounce of strength, sprinting upstairs to his rented apartment. He threw open the door gently, placing her right in the bathtub. He quickly turned on the warm water, washing away all that filthy mud. The warm water cleared the dirt away, revealing a body totally covered in awful wounds. Her legs were terribly scratched up, her face completely bruised. Checking her injuries, a blinding white suddenly appeared. The water rinsed away the mud, revealing stunning snow-white hair shimmering exactly like pure moonlight. This fragile girl lying in the warm water looked exactly like an elf fallen into our world. But her constant shivering reminded him that her fragile spark was fading away so fast. He carefully brushed aside the wet hair covering her face to check her condition. But seeing her face under the bright light, his heart completely sank into absolute despair. The girl was an albino with white hair, eyebrows, and eyelashes. Even more horrifying, her poor face was terribly infected. Her wounds were festering, badly oozing fluid and giving off an awful, sickening smell. Her fragile body was covered in painful wounds without a single safe spot. Her limbs were shockingly thin, her skin yellowed from severe, long-term malnutrition. That torn nightgown could not hide her skeletal frame. Her ribs were sticking out. She had obviously been wandering those cold streets for so long. Seeing this innocent girl thrown into the trash felt exactly like a sharp knife to his heart. You and I know that pain. He was abandoned exactly like this, carrying that deep despair. Why are people so incredibly cruel? How can rich parents just throw away their children without feeling a single shred of guilt? He tightly clenched his fists, watching her incredibly weak breathing and shivering body. He silently swore, "This time I absolutely refuse to let this world snatch a soul away. Do not worry, you are going to be okay." He spoke softly, his voice totally firm. "I will not let you perish. I will save you." He removed the filthy nightgown, immersing her in the warm water. Anyone suffering from severe hypothermia absolutely cannot be put into hot water immediately. He used water-matching body temperature to slowly warm her up. The gentle water washed away the mud, revealing every single painful wound. His heart ached worse and worse, but he never stopped. Meanwhile, over in the VIP room of Maddo City First Hospital, the tense atmosphere was completely suffocating. Thomas and Mary guarded her hospital bed. Watching Diana lying there, her face extremely pale, cold sweat rolling down. Her body trembled from intense pain. "Mom, Dad, it hurts so much. It hurts," Diana cried out weakly. Every single word carried heavy agony. Thomas looked anxiously at Sarah. "Sarah, how is fourth sister doing?" Sarah kept a totally cold face. Fourth sister's spinal disease has been awful since childhood. This terrifying relapse almost paralyzed her completely. Although we did emergency treatments and restored some sensation, we sadly cannot reduce her current intense pain. How can this be happening? Mary's eyes grew red, covering her mouth while loudly sobbing. "Sarah, is there really no way to cure fourth sister?" Sarah simply shot back a cold, sarcastic look. "Here is where it gets crazy. Liam always treated her relapses before." The room went entirely silent. "Do not even mention that absolute scumbag." Mary angrily gritted her teeth. If not for him, would Diana have ever relapsed? That rebellious kid ruined the company for $2 billion and also harmed us this much. I am so furious I could literally tear him into a million tiny little pieces. Hearing $2 billion, Thomas's face darkened instantly. This morning, after bringing Diana here, Evelyn rushed right back to the company to desperately handle the major fallout. But sadly, there was absolutely zero good news. Riley's leaked video remained a massive dark cloud hanging over everyone. Sarah stared at her furious parents, her eyes flashing coldly. "Dad, can I ask you something important?" "What is it now?" Thomas looked up, sounding super annoyed. Today, Liam visited and caused a massive scene. He struck Mom, triggering fourth sister's terrible relapse. He even hurt eldest sister really badly today. Sarah spoke with a voice as freezing as solid ice. He did so many awful things easily enough to count as intentional assault. "I really want to know why you stopped the police from arresting him." Thomas's face turned incredibly ugly, rubbing his tired temples. "If police arrested Liam, our company's reputation would totally crash. The stock would plummet instantly. The Carter family absolutely cannot withstand that kind of massive shock right now." Mary and Diana, though totally unwilling to accept this, could only stay silent. The company was at a critical deciding crossroads. No matter how badly they wanted revenge against him, they simply had to yield. But Sarah was absolutely not fooled by this. "Dad, this has nothing to do with stocks, right?" Thomas's eyes quickly flickered, his voice sounding super unnatural. "What are you even saying?" Sarah glared at him sharply. "First, the company's stock has already hit absolute rock bottom. More bad news simply wouldn't make things worse. Second, the police acted very discreetly today. Liam literally begged for arrest, but you refused. So what do you and I make of this absolutely crazy twist? Dive right into this wild drama with me." "Dad, what are you hiding? Why not let the cops take him?" Thomas went pale and roared, "Insolent! He has zero leverage, absolutely nothing." Mary and Diana just completely froze, exchanging confused glances with Sarah. They finally realized something was seriously off. Sarah refused to drop it. "Then why do you despise him this much? Why protect him like this? He totally has something on you, right? Shut your mouth right now," Thomas yelled. But catching his own panic, he started panting heavily, wiped away his cold sweat, and quickly stomped right toward the exit door. "I need some fresh air." Slam. The heavy door closed hard, dropping the entire room into absolute silence. By noon, Sophia and Chloe sprinted into the hospital. Seeing Diana writhing on the bed, their eyes got teary with panic. "Diana, what went wrong?" Sophia grabbed her hand tightly, looking over at Sarah. Is there seriously no way to stop her pain? Sarah just shook her head, looking grim. Meds help a little, but when they wear off, it hurts way worse. That is the true nightmare. So she just has to suffer endlessly. Chloe paced the room in pure panic, her eyes blazing mad. Sarah stayed totally quiet, then muttered, "There is exactly one guy who can fix this." "Who?" they both demanded. "It is Liam Carter." The whole room instantly froze. Sophia and Chloe exchanged a quick glance, both looking completely disgusted. "That is right," Sarah nodded her head coldly. In the past, whenever fourth sister flared up, Liam used his crazy acupuncture skills to stop it. "Only he can handle it." Chloe scoffed hard, gritting her teeth. "Perfect, then drag that absolute jerk over here immediately. He has to fix this. Now watch closely here." She whipped out her phone to call him, but only got an automated voice. "Sorry, the number you dialed is busy." "Darn it!" Chloe angrily slammed her phone down. "I totally forgot he blocked me. Let me try." Sarah calmly grabbed her own phone and dialed his number. After a few rings, it finally connected. "Liam Carter," Sarah said coldly. "Your fourth sister is in so much pain she might just collapse. Drag yourself to the hospital and fix her right this second." Pure silence on the other end, except for some faint running water sounds. "Hello?" Sarah raised her voice, super annoyed now. "Did you hear me? Get over here." After a long pause, he finally replied, sounding ice-cold and sharp. "Sarah, your mouth is absolute garbage. Why don't you go find some traffic and just walk into it?" "Liam Carter, you jerk, how dare you insult me?" Sarah had never been spoken to like this before. The little brother, who used to take all her scolding without a single complaint, was suddenly giving her serious attitude. "Yeah, I am insulting you." He sounded super casual, even playful. "Hurry up and take a really long walk off a short pier. The hospital roof works nicely too. Express trip straight to the basement freezer, all inclusive." "Liam Carter!" Sarah shrieked, almost crushing her phone entirely. "Is that all you can say, you absolute piece of garbage?" His mocking laughter echoed right through the speaker, sounding super calm but totally toxic. "Did the Carter family eat spoiled food growing up, making all your brains develop wrong? Are you clueless?" "You feel that shift, right?" Hitting her weak spot, he continued. "I will repeat myself. Never boss me around. To save Diana, the whole Carter family needs to kneel and beg me. Then maybe I will think about it. Are you even human?" Sarah ground her teeth together, trying to hide her fury. "Am I human? You guys do not even deserve to ask," he sneered with heavy contempt. "You rich Carter family members acting so noble when you hit me, framed me, and totally humiliated me. Did you ever wonder if you were human? When Diana totally lied about me stealing, when Mary tossed me out on the street, when Kevin stepped on my head to look cool, you guys just played the perfect good guys. You are all absolute trash, and now you ask if I am human. This is the real me. Stop talking nonsense." Sarah tried, but he interrupted fast. "Listen closely, I am not coming. I am done. The toxic Carter family business has zero to do with me. Do not call and bother me ever again." With that, he brutally hung up. The hospital room went totally silent. Everyone was absolutely speechless. "That absolute jerk!" Sarah shook with pure rage, throwing her phone down. "What did he say?" Sophia asked anxiously. "He is not coming." Sarah gritted her teeth. "He even hopes fourth sister does not make it through this pain." "What?" Sophia and Chloe exchanged completely stunned looks. "How is he this cold?" Chloe stomped her foot hard. "We treated him perfectly all these years. He seriously deserves to just get totally wrecked." "Enough, stop yelling," Mary commanded, staring anxiously at Diana, tossing around in intense agony on the hospital bed. "Sarah, find a way to save your fourth sister." Sarah took a deep breath, her dark eyes quickly scanning over everyone. "I need to know what triggered him to act so completely out of character lately. Usually, no matter how much we scolded him, he just took it silently. Today, he actually fought back and dared to stand right up to us. Trust me, we need to see what happens next." "Fifth sister, you missed the wedding, so you missed the truth," Sophia whispered softly, sounding completely worried. "Let us dive in. The wedding looked absolutely perfect right up until the ring exchange happened. But Olivia answered a sudden phone call, said absolutely nothing, and just vanished." Sophia took a deep breath, vividly remembering yesterday's totally chaotic scene. When Olivia suddenly left, Liam stood completely frozen, then passed out from pure rage under a tree. But when he finally woke up, he had completely changed. It was like he seriously snapped. His entire mood turned violently uncontrollable. Frowning while holding her floral tea, Chloe added, "Back then, We honestly had zero clue what had actually happened either. He was simply too shocked. Later, he fiercely demanded to completely cancel his engagement to Olivia. We firmly refused, so he completely snapped. Good, Sarah sneered, her tone dripping with intense malice. That absolute jerk completely deserves betrayal. He seriously needs to bow his head for the rest of his life. Hey, do not say that. Chloe gently shook her head. Even though Olivia vanished abruptly, she never fools around. I truly believe she had solid reasons. Sarah just scoffed. If Olivia truly betrayed him, that is his karma. That useless guy protects absolutely nothing. Sister burning all his trash felt so incredibly satisfying. That is enough. Sophia frowned, quietly dropping her voice. Quit mentioning Olivia. That awful guy keeps demanding a divorce lately. Honestly, Olivia is probably absolutely furious too. Sarah laughed mockingly. Divorce? We heavily overestimate him. Lacking any backbone, he will definitely end up begging Olivia for forgiveness. And fourth sister Sophia worried. Liam stubbornly refuses to come. This really is not good. Sarah looked dark, speaking quite stubbornly. We absolutely do not need him. I will completely cure my very own patient. Now watch closely. The door swings wide open again. A heavily bandaged Evelyn and an absolutely stunned Lily walk straight into the room. Fourth sister, how are you? Evelyn quickly rushed to the bed, sounding completely exhausted. Diana weakly glanced up. Eldest sister, I am in terrible pain. How is our company? Mary anxiously asked. Evelyn just sighed. Public relations issued a statement, but our company value will not recover anytime soon. Riley's video caused massive damage. It is totally unfixable in the short term. How did everything end up like this? Mary slumped into her chair, muttering softly. Sophia stared at Evelyn's bruised face, feeling massive heartbreak. Eldest sister, what happened to your face? Evelyn sounded freezing cold. That absolute jerk Liam Carter attacked me. What? Chloe grew incredibly furious. He is insanely arrogant. We literally just burned his old trashy things. How dare he strike you? Call the police immediately. Throw him into jail. Sophia gritted her teeth. No, Evelyn quickly stopped them both. Our company crisis just started. Calling the cops right now will completely ruin all our hard work. Right now we must simply endure it. That is too easy for him. Chloe scoffed coldly, but he will definitely pay the price. Diana's extremely weak voice echoed from the bed again. Everyone felt totally helpless, anxiously waiting for Sarah to finally return. Evelyn stared at the completely silent Lily, her tone turning freezing cold. Sixth sister, I must ask you something. Lily violently jolted, lowering her head. I know what you are thinking. Evelyn spoke slowly, striking Lily's heart. Did you purposely abandon Liam back then? Lily stood before everyone, tightly clutching her dress like a tiny cornered animal. Her face turned completely pale, her entire body shaking uncontrollably. Her eyes darted nervously, stammering for a long time, totally unable to speak. Evelyn fiercely stepped forward, sounding sharper than a knife. Answer me, yes or no? Lily utterly panicked, almost collapsing. Her eyes turned bright red, sobbing. No, I swear I didn't. Back then, I merely wanted to take him to the amusement park for fun. He wandered off on his own. I never abandoned him purposely, really. Her loud cries carried pure grievance and panic, yet they completely failed to soothe anybody's lingering doubts. Instead, it awakened the deep suspicions they suppressed for ages. Sixth sister, please do not cry. We absolutely believe you. Sophia quickly hugged her for comfort. Exactly. Chloe also spoke up angrily, glaring at Evelyn. Eldest sister, why ask sixth sister something so terribly awful? She is already completely heartbroken enough. Evelyn totally ignored the scolding, still staring coldly at Lily. It is best if you didn't. If you really did, I will never forgive you. Lily trembled, crying and desperately promising. Sister, I swear I didn't. I absolutely never did that. The room's atmosphere felt incredibly heavy. Everyone harbored deeply complex thoughts. Nobody wanted to bow their heads. They merely sighed. Chloe glared out the window, her eyes intensely flashing with pure anger and hatred. The hospital room doors suddenly opened. Sarah walked back inside, looking incredibly serious. Mom, eldest sister, second sister, third sister, sixth sister. Please step outside now. I need to treat fourth sister. Mary hurriedly stood up. Sarah, you must cure Diana. Do not worry, Mom. I will do my best. Sarah nodded. Everyone exited the room one by one. While waiting outside, an absolutely miserable scream echoed from within, hitting them like a knife piercing their hearts. Everyone outside completely changed their expressions, immediately rushing toward the door but not daring to enter. Fourth sister Chloe cursed softly. Liam Carter ruined everything. And trust me, you and I will absolutely watch him pay back every single debt to the Carter family. Let us dive into this wild family drama. Evelyn yelled to stop venting. A phone rang. She answered, frowning hard. Seconds passed. Her look went from pure shock straight to blazing anger as she slammed that phone down with crazy force. Third sister. She glared right at Chloe, teeth totally clenched. Why did you tell reporters Liam acted so terribly? Do you even realize what the press is writing right now? Chloe jumped, then snapped back. I wanted his name ruined. He embarrassed Kevin in front of everyone. I just returned the favor. Look at the result. Evelyn smashed her phone again. Happy now you destroyed Liam, our entire Carter family reputation, and the whole company value too. Do we even have enough cash to fix this mess? The room went totally quiet. You could only hear Evelyn breathing heavily. Suddenly, Lily stepped up, wiped her tears away, and looked surprisingly calm. Eldest sister, I have the great plan. Evelyn asked coldly, what plan? Lily stood tall, speaking firmly. Since third sister already leaked those things, we have zero way out. We should just roll with it completely. Pay attention, this part is brilliant. Let us use this drama to make Liam the ultimate villain while making everyone pity the Carter family. This masterstroke shifts the public focus entirely and fully stabilizes our company value. Her bold idea left the whole room speechless. Chloe nodded first. Sixth sister is a genius. Instead of just taking these attacks, we need to go on the offensive immediately. Evelyn thought, her voice hesitant. Sixth sister, this totally works, but it pins absolutely every single crime right onto Liam. We really cannot do this, eldest sister. What are you still hesitating for? Chloe cut in. That jerk caused this whole disaster. He deserves all the blame. Exactly. Sophia quickly agreed. He hurt the Carter family so deeply. Why feel bad? Evelyn stayed quiet, checking Lily's fierce gaze, then Chloe and Sophia's extremely determined faces. Finally, she nodded. Fine, we will do it Lily's way. Tell PR to drop a fresh statement immediately. Hearing this, the Carter sisters got incredibly hyped. A few girls even cheered. Lily stood aside, a shining gleam of pure triumph in her eyes. Mary watched this happy moment and smiled, totally unaware that a masked guy right nearby was quietly holding up his phone to record. His eyes gleamed as his mouth twisted into a freezing smirk. Such a wicked family, but I just secured all the evidence, he muttered quietly to himself. I know what you are thinking. Busted, I have the video and audio. Try denying it now. Chloe Carter, prepare for a sweet gift from the paparazzi king. Later that night, the dark streets of Fenghin City went completely quiet. I pushed open my apartment door and carried the white-haired girl covered in nasty scrapes right inside. Her temperature finally dropped back to normal, but she remained passed out. Looking at her torn dress and the terrible shape she was in, my heart truly ached. After tucking her in, I began cleaning up that giant mud pile she dragged inside. A terrible smell filled the entire room, making me dizzy, but that mud might have been the only thing hiding her. I could not simply throw it away. After sweeping up, I headed straight to the bathroom, using warm water to wash the grime off my own skin. Right at that exact moment, at Motto City's famous Kinte bar, Riley slumped at the counter, hands tightly gripping a vodka bottle, chugging it fast. Liam Carter, you total jerk, you ruined me like this, I will never forgive you, she loudly wailed and cried. Why? Why does Liam make a huge mistake while I am forced to suffer? Suddenly, a familiar voice behind her made her freeze completely. Olivia, listen up. Tomorrow you drag that total loser straight to the civil registry office. That kind of guy is completely worthless. Your divorce agreement must ensure he leaves entirely empty-handed, taking absolutely zero assets. It was Victoria speaking, sounding so full of pure contempt. Remember, if he refuses to sign, you simply sign it first right at the office. Do not be scared. He must submit. A powerful woman cannot let herself be wronged. Riley, completely wasted with glaring red eyes, snatched the heavy bottle, stumbling toward Olivia. She roared loudly, smashing that bottle onto their table. Crash glass shards flew absolutely everywhere, mixing fruit and expensive alcohol into a totally disastrous pile. Olivia Vance, you! Riley wildly screamed, pointing right at her face packed with crazy resentment. Olivia stood stunned, totally unprepared for this drama. Watching Riley snap and remembering the $2 billion her company lost, she instantly flared up in rage. She stood up, glaring intensely. Riley Carter, you are terrible. How dare you curse me? Losing 2 billion was entirely thanks to your silly little video, crashing 2 whole companies. You are the real fool. The pair aggressively traded insults, spinning the whole chaotic scene out of control. Riley furiously cursed while Olivia refused to yield, snapping right back. Suddenly, Riley fiercely swung her hand, slapping Olivia incredibly hard. Smack! A bright red mark formed. That sting broke Olivia. You dare hit me? Trust me. You and I know this means war. Let's dive right into this crazy drama. She charges forward and an epic clash begins. Victoria just watches from the back, totally unfazed. She slips away. In this wild commotion, Olivia lands a huge kick, sending Riley crashing into the table. A jagged shard catches Riley's hand and crimson drops start falling right onto the floor. Olivia Vance, it's over! Riley screams. Grabbing a sharp shard, she lunges forward wildly. Suddenly, a shocking sound instantly tears through the air. Olivia gets slashed, a bright red streak sliding down her cheek. She touches it, sees her messy hand, and completely freezes in place. My beautiful face! Olivia completely loses it. She lets out a wild shriek, charging in and pinning Riley against the table. Riley Carter, you are finished. In this madness, Victoria watches coldly. While nobody is looking, she gives Olivia a surprisingly hard shove. This sends Riley's head crashing brutally right into the table's edge. Bam! Such a terrifying sound. Riley collapses onto the ground. Crimson liquid pours from her injury, painting the floor bright red. Olivia just freezes. She drops down, hands shaking. Riley, what happened? The whole crowd suddenly screams in pure panic. A criminal! Olivia totally panics, desperately searching for her best friend. Vicky, but glancing around, she only spots shocked, glaring eyes from the surrounding crowd. Watch closely here. Victoria is missing. Vicky vanished. If Riley fades, what do I do? Olivia clutches her head, muttering with completely hopeless eyes. From the crowd, a brave guy crouches down to check Riley's breathing. His eyes light up. She is still breathing! Olivia snaps back to reality, shakily reaching out to confirm it herself. Wow, a faint breath. She is still here! Olivia almost screams. Why are you just standing there? Get to the hospital! This loud shout makes Olivia nod her head in a total frenzy. She quickly grabs her phone, calling 12020. Shaking wildly, she fumbles the numbers 3 times before finally connecting. Help, ambulance, we are at Kintate Bar. Someone is badly hurt. Hurry! Her voice trembles so much, barely making sense. Soon enough, a rescue vehicle arrives with flashing lights. Olivia frantically helps the medics lift Riley up, then follows them inside, totally lost in a daze. Morning arrives. Warm sunlight peeks through the curtains, hitting my face. I frown slightly, slowly opening my heavy eyes. Right near my bed, bright ruby eyes stare fiercely at me. It is that mysterious white-haired girl I rescued earlier. Her gaze feels like pure magic. But knowing those ruby eyes are just an albinism trait, my heart fills with such a complicated, heavy feeling. Her poor face looks troubled, eyes faded, hiding perfectly still under the warm blanket. I softly say hello. Suddenly, the girl lets out a terrified shriek, shrinking back in total fear. Tangled up, she struggles without making any progress. I quickly raise my hands to calm her. Hey, do not panic. I am safe. Yet she keeps crying out until her tiny frame is fully exhausted, her voice fading to absolute silence. I stand up tall. I know what you are thinking. What now? I hit the kitchen making sugar salt water. I did this constantly back at the orphanage. Super basic, but restores energy incredibly fast. I bring the glass, wanting to help, but seeing me step closer, her big eyes instantly fill with pure panic. She dodges it, staring like I mixed in something dangerous. Feeling super sympathetic, I just take a sip right there. Watching closely and realizing it is safe, she finally relaxes. I help her sit up gently, bringing the sweet drink over. Drink this up. She takes one tiny sip, tests it out, then drinks slowly, acting exactly like a cautious, rescued little kitten. Polishing off the whole thing, some color returns to her cute lips, but that empty stare still really worries me. What is your name? I whisper, gently attempting a chat. She mumbles softly, lips moving, but absolutely zero clear words come out. Where are you from? How old are you? I keep asking, but these rapid questions only get fuzzy little noises in return. She is not just silent, her mind might be deeply affected. My heart completely sinks. Her situation is way more complicated than I realized. Hoping to bring comfort, I grab a fresh, clean white dress and bring it directly to her. Hoping this familiar item brings peace. Hey, is this yours? I gently unfold the fabric. Shockingly spotting the dress, her eyes immediately shrink. Total fear takes over and she lets out an absolutely heartbreaking cry. That loud wail jolts me. I quickly toss the dress away, speaking super softly. "Hey, it is fine. It is gone now." But her panic refuses to fade. She frantically thrashes in the blankets, her cries sounding so incredibly painful. Watching her fragile, totally worn-out shape, I cannot take it. Gritting my teeth, I hug her tightly, keeping her completely safe. "Do not worry. I am right here." I gently rub her back, trying to calm everything. She slowly quiets down, endlessly crying. "Trust me, we must uncover her mysterious past next. Stick with me here." She curled into my chest, tears soaking my shirt while I just whispered, "It is okay." I kept comforting her, gently stroking her white hair. Once she finally calmed down, I decided we needed a hospital checkup right away. But the second I stood up, she panicked. Her red eyes went wide with pure fear. I told her, "Do not worry, I am staying right here." I softened my voice, explaining I just needed some clothes for us to go out. Slowly but surely, the poor girl actually seemed to understand. Her loud cries finally quieted down, though her eyes stayed locked on me. I rubbed her head and grabbed some clothes. The only problem, I had zero female clothing, so my baggy old t-shirts and worn pants had to do the trick. Coming back, she was still watching my every move. I smiled and gently told her we needed to change outfits before hitting the hospital. I pulled back the heavy blanket and wow! A terrible smell hit the air, revealing dark stains soaking the sheets all around her. Seeing her covered in nasty wounds and sores made my stomach drop. Her condition was way worse than I initially realized. I guessed it was a severe skin issue or maybe straight-up poison. Either way, getting her medical help was my top priority now. I carefully wiped her down and dressed her. Minutes later, swimming in my oversized clothes and a baseball cap, she looked like a frail boy. Right before stepping out, my promise to Vanessa flashed back. The Wood Group was facing absolute disaster. I needed to gather 500 million super fast, but that kind of cash was impossible right now. Hesitating, I opened my chat app and messaged a contact loaded with millions. I simply typed, "I need your help." After hitting send, I scooped the girl up. She weighed basically nothing, and honestly, it completely broke my heart. She nestled obediently in my arms, gripping my shirt for dear life. I let out a sigh and rushed out toward Tomato City First Hospital. Now pay attention here, the vibe over in the hospital VIP room was incredibly tense. Diana leaned against her bed, face completely pale. Sarah's treatment only provided a brief escape from the agony, and her back was still absolutely throbbing. Random waves of pain left her feeling totally shattered. "Dad," she whispered. Diana stared desperately at Thomas beside her. "Hurry up and call Liam to fix this." Thomas just glanced at her, then over at Riley, resting unconscious in the next bed. Curses almost escaped his lips, but he swallowed them with a heavy sigh. "Diana, did Sarah not already treat your condition? Why bring up that totally useless troublemaker now?" Diana frowned, her voice completely raspy. "Sarah barely did anything. My back still hurts so badly." Thomas simply rubbed his forehead in pure frustration. "Forget about that loser. Just let Sarah check you again, but she cannot fix it." Diana was hurting so badly she almost cried. Seeing her daughter suffering like this, Mary felt terrible and quickly stepped in to comfort her. "Diana, do not panic. Mom will call Liam right now." She grabbed her phone and dialed my number, but an automated voice just said the line was completely busy. "Please try again." She completely froze, dialed the number again, and heard that exact same beep. Thomas spoke with ice in his voice. "Stop calling, he definitely blocked you." "But how is that even possible?" Mary refused to believe it. "I am his mother. How could he possibly block me? Let me try one more time." "You saw this coming, right?" Thomas sighed tiredly. Suddenly the door opened and Olivia walked right in, face bandaged and looking super guilty. "Uncle Thomas, Aunt Mary, how is Riley?" Seeing her face, Mary absolutely lost it. She lunged forward, delivering a brutal slap. "You almost ended Riley. Do you get that?" Olivia's head snapped sideways, a harsh red handprint stinging her cheek. Her eyes watered with fresh tears. "I am so sorry, Aunt Mary." But Mary was raging, raising her hand for round 2. But Thomas quickly blocked her strike. "Enough, stop making a scene. We cannot dump all the blame on Olivia for this mess. Riley is definitely no saint either." Mary shot him a furious glare, stomped her foot, but eventually backed off to the bed. She stared at Riley with pure heartbreak. Olivia bit her lip, feeling totally wronged as she looked down. "Uncle Thomas, I get it. The fresh wound on her face pulsed from the hit, but she kept her mouth totally shut. Olivia Thomas said with absolute ice. What in the world have you been doing these past few days? Running away right in the middle of your wedding, ruining our reputation completely, and then fighting Riley in a bar until she almost didn't make it. Do you even know what you are doing? Olivia peeked up at him before quickly dropping her gaze. I am so sorry, Uncle Thomas. Thomas wanted to keep yelling, but a super faint voice echoed from the bed. Mom, Dad, where am I? Thomas and Mary instantly whipped around and rushed over. You are awake. How are you feeling? Mary asked in total panic, tears flooding her eyes while tightly gripping her daughter's hand. Mom, Dad. Riley looked up, her eyes swimming in deep guilt. I messed up, they cried. No, it is totally fine. Mary sobbed softly, shaking her head. As long as you are safe, nothing else in the world matters right now. Riley asked about the company. Thomas faked a smile. It is fine. Olivia stepped forward. Trust me, you and I know this drama is just starting. Stick with me, you are about to witness epic drama. Riley's eyes spark with absolute rage. Olivia, get out. Get out right now! She screams, heavy tears streaming down her face. Mom, make her leave. Mary hurriedly comforts her. Okay, Mom will make her leave right now. Riley is about to throw a massive tantrum, but Thomas violently shouts, cutting her off. Enough! Things are already chaotic enough here. Do you want to add to it? The room falls silent. Only Riley's soft crying echoes. The door swings open. Chloe and Sarah push Kevin bandaged all over into the room. Seventh sister, are you okay? I came to visit you, Kevin shouts the moment he enters. Brother Kevin, seeing him, Riley cries even more pitifully than before. Olivia hurt me so badly, you have to get justice for me. Kevin glares at Olivia, fully intending to agree, but seeing the heavy bandages on her face, he quickly changes his tune. You are here too. Seeing his attitude, Riley stomps her feet in pure anger. Brother Kevin hit her. Kevin coughs awkwardly, pretending to be totally righteous. Seventh sister, stop being stubborn. Olivia did not do it on purpose. Brother Kevin, I hate you, Riley screams in anger. Kevin awkwardly changes the subject. Olivia, is your face okay? Olivia glares at him coldly and does not answer. Thomas waves his hand. Enough noise. Now pay attention, here is the big question. Did Liam say anything to you about a divorce? Olivia freezes, looking up. I silently observe Thomas. Uncle Thomas, he did say he wanted a divorce, but yesterday I told him to come to resolve it and he never showed up. Honestly, I do not think he truly wants a divorce. Thomas ponders, his face completely dark, nodding. If so, that scumbag probably does not plan to ever divorce. Olivia, this matter is incredibly important. You absolutely must not divorce Liam. Understood. Olivia nods, her eyes flashing with deep grievance. I understand, Uncle. Chloe looks totally dissatisfied. Dad trash like Liam Carter really does not deserve Olivia. Are you pushing her into a roaring pit? Shut your mouth, Thomas roars. This matter is absolutely none of your business. Chloe wants to argue more, but her phone suddenly rings. She frowns, checks the bright screen, and walks to a corner to answer. Hello, what? The entire movie stopped filming. The company actually wants me to return and explain. Fine, I am heading back now. Hanging up, Chloe hurriedly returns. Dad, something happened with the movie crew. I must go back to the company. Go! Thomas waves his hand, glad for less chaos. Olivia stands up, her voice light but super tired. Uncle Thomas, my company has things to deal with too. I will leave first. Wait. Thomas calls her back, his face totally serious. Olivia, remember, you absolutely must not divorce that rebellious guy. This crucial matter heavily involves the major interests of both the Carter and Vance families. You must not act stubborn. Olivia bites her lip. Her heart feels full of grievance, but she softly nods. I know, Uncle. She bows and prepares to leave. Olivia, let me walk you out, Kevin says enthusiastically right from his hospital bed. Olivia glares, coldly turns, and leaves without answering. The hospital room quickly returns to total silence. Kevin watches Olivia leave, his eyes flashing a venomous glare. Why doesn't Olivia belong to me? Why did Liam marry her? You and I both know Kevin is absolutely furious that Liam still will not get a divorce despite everything. The more Kevin thinks about it, the more unwilling he feels. Hatred almost swallows him whole. Sarah steps forward to Thomas, her face calm but super puzzled. Dad, why won't you let Olivia divorce Liam? Do you still value him? Thomas glares at her. This matter involves far too much money. The fewer people who know, the better. Seeing her father unwilling to speak, Sarah boldly continues. Dad, I completely understand you do not want the Carter and Vance families to lose face, but do we really need to keep that rebellious guy around? Look at what he did to our family these past few days. These exact words make Kevin secretly rejoice. He wants nothing more than the entire family to talk about cutting ties, and now his golden opportunity is finally here. Exactly, Dad, Riley chimes in resentfully. If it were not for that scumbag Liam, would I be in this state, honey? We really have to teach that unruly scumbag a lesson, Mary interjects. We should absolutely just cut ties with him, kick him right out of the house, and let him fend for himself. Dad, I agree too. Diana speaks weakly from her bed. He stubbornly refuses to treat my illness. This heartless, highly ungrateful person should be kicked entirely out of the Carter family. Kevin lowers his head, his mouth twitching up into a sinister smile, but he quickly puts on a fake, concerned face. Dad, please reconsider. Even though Liam hurt your arm, hit Mom, fourth sister, sixth sister, and put me in this painful state, he is still family. How can you say you will cut ties just like that? Kevin's deeply thoughtful words make Mary burst into dramatic tears. Kevin, stop speaking up for that scumbag, Riley cries. Brother Kevin, do not plead for him. We must cut ties with him. Thomas rubs his tired temples, dealing with the noise. Enough, Sarah suggests a secret agreement to Dad. Trust me, you and I absolutely want to see how this wild plan plays out next. All right, let's dive into this drama. This way, we save face and ditch the disaster. Thomas's eyes absolutely lit up. He gave a quick nod. Perfect. Once Big Sis returns, we will sign the papers and completely cut that absolute loser off for good. Meanwhile, out in the hallway, Olivia was bawling. Mary had just slapped her silly, utterly humiliating her before the entire Carter family. Now, rocking 12 facial stitches, her heart was bubbling over with intense grievance and wild fury. She blamed Liam Carter for everything. Without him, this massive disaster would never have happened. Grabbing her phone to call him, she suddenly froze. Out of the corner of her eye, she spotted me holding a little girl chatting with a doctor at the hall's end. Watch closely here. Olivia's inner rage completely exploded. Gripping her phone, she charged over, aggressively screaming, "Liam Carter, you scumbag! Why don't you just vanish?" Hearing that ear-piercing shriek, my expression darkened. I fired back coldly. "Olivia, if your mouth smells like a literal sewer, go brush your teeth. Stop spraying garbage at me." Olivia froze up, then got absolutely furious. "You dare insult me? Just look at what your seventh sister did." She aggressively pointed at her bandaged face, demanding answers from me. Giving her a side eye, I sneered, "Your skin is so incredibly thick, slapping on an extra bandage shouldn't even bother you." "Liam Carter?" Olivia shrieked loudly, making the doctor beside me chuckle. Suddenly, the little girl I held screamed in terror, shrinking back and gripping my shirt tightly. "Olivia, stop causing a scene." Suppressing my temper, I explained, "Someone abandoned this girl." "Oh, I see," Olivia sneered maliciously. "Covered in sores, that gross illness is a perfect match for an absolute loser like you who grew up in an orphanage. You dirty people deserve abandonment." You and I knew payback was coming. Before she could finish, I slapped her face. Smack. That heavy slap echoed loudly through the hallway, knocking Olivia to the ground. That stinging pain left her totally dazed before reality hit. Leaping up with tear-filled eyes, she aggressively pointed a trembling finger right at me. "You dared to hit me, Olivia." I stared at her coldly, pronouncing every word clearly. "Follow me to the registry office for a divorce right now." "Fine, let's divorce," Olivia screamed wildly, her face completely covered in tears. "Liam Carter, if you back out today, may your family face absolute ruin." I honestly didn't want to waste any more breath. I pointed at the door, my voice freezing cold. Today, whoever refuses this divorce will watch their family lose absolutely everything. "Let's go." "Fine, you scumbag!" Stomping her high heels, Olivia furiously stormed right outside. Turning back to Dr. Kelly, I gently handed the little girl over. "Please watch over her for me. I'll be right back." "Go right ahead," she replied. Dr. Kelly waved smugly. "Are we ready to watch him ditch that awful witch?"